I am much more inclined now than I was when I made Close Encounters to really believe that we're not the only intelligent civilization in the universe.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth.
This is a story about us. All of us.
Good morning, Kansas City.
Up against the most extraordinary event in human history.
What's happening to me? I'm frightened out of my wits.
You don't need to be. You have someone else.
Daniel Keller.
Who is this?
Do not go back to the house. They found you. I don't know who you are, but they're gonna kill you.
The human race cannot accept what we know. We need to stop it any way we can.
What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
This 79-year cover-up of the truth has to end.
We're interrupting our coverage.
How will disclosure change us? I believe for the better. It will remind us of our capacity for empathy, and that there is something bigger out there than just ourselves.
The only way to know your purpose is to go back to where it all began. I know you.
I know you do. What happened to us?
I used to say to myself, wouldn't it be wonderful if all of this turned out to be true? I'm now thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful for people to know all of this is true?
Disclosure Day.
Shout out to Steven Pedoberg. Let's get into it, folks. Happy Disclosure Day, Deception, folks. A lie too big to fail, wouldn't you say?
It is time for us to adopt a new company brand to encompass everything that we do. To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now AllThat+MORE.
I could not have written Ready Player One if I had not grown up on a steady diet of Steven Spielberg movies. It would have been a different story, or I might not have written it at all. His work is woven into the fabric of my life. Everybody, I think, who dreams of making movies dreams of getting to work with him.
Yeah, no.
It's a dream come true.
I want to tell you about the brand new...
I mean, really, doesn't everyone have a dream of being fondled and molested by a creepy old dude? I mean, come on, who wouldn't?
Mr. Beast Lab hybrids. These are collectible action figures that you can take apart, mix and match, and make your very own unique beast. Some of these hybrids are even super rare, like this golden dragon or this 1 in 1,000 hyperchrome. You just combine the rarest hybrids. Don't sell it on eBay. And with our brand new mega pack, look how many pieces you can start your collection with. Bro, it just keeps going. Mr. Beast Lab hybrids. Wherever you buy toys, these bad boys are available.
Are all your phony economic crises being exposed? Is the price of gold defying all your attempts to fix it? Isn't killing the Gulf of Mexico and poisoning millions of people reducing the population fast enough for you? War, famine, and GM food not getting it done either? No? Well, don't give up. Get Disclosure. You'll be able to unite mankind with a phony problem and enslave them with one world government and taxes. Yes, Disclosure, your one-stop shop for full spectrum dominance. But wait, there's more. Sign up for Disclosure today and you'll get problem, reaction, solution absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. Act now to be entered into our fabulous propaganda prize draw. Disclosure. Our surveys show that 9 out of 10 world leaders prefer it. Disclosure. Cleansing the minds of the unwashed masses with a tantalizing, terrifying, taxable new reality. only going to say this 3 times. Disclosure! Disclosure! Aliens may or may not be real. Your home may be at risk from those possible aliens. No major credit cards accepted because there is only one currency under a one world government. Prepare to die screaming, probably. Disclosure is compatible with Project Bluebeam. Do not employ critical thinking.
Hello.
A future that Ernest Cline, the writer of the book, envisioned. I was very careful with Ernie collaborating with me every step of the way to be able to find the movie narrative inside this dense forest of Ernie's profound imagination.
The Oasis being the ultimate toy box with all the toys in the world, and then playing that with one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, it results in just amazing action and such a fun adventure.
Ernest Cline is such a visionary, and I think has seen the future before any of us possibly could even imagine it.
All right, folks. Indeed, I am that I am. And as I say many times before, in la kesh a la kin, which means I am another yourself. I am another you. But let's get into it, folks. I have quite the presentation for you guys and quite the trove of information to go through. As you can see here from this super meme, you got Mr. David Icke in the top right corner, which is fitting, right? Because you just heard the problem, reaction, solution term, which, believe it or not, let's look this up here. Let's look this up. Check this out, all right? Check out what I'm about to show you here. Because this was news to me. Oh, wow, Paul's live again. How about that? All right, well, this is just in the meantime. This is in the meantime until we get into the decode presentation because quite the, oh, you're joking. Okay, all right. That would be crazy because he was just live. So, let me see here. I'm having some technical issue here. What's going on? Okay, yeah, make sure to hit the buttons. Make sure to hit the, do the thing, hit the buttons. Do the smush the buttons, smush the thumb thing and the other buttons. So, all right. So believe it or not, where did problem, reaction, solution originate? Of course, it's based on the Hegelian dialectic, right? But who created this way of explaining it? Look at that, David Icke. So we got to give some respect where respect is due. Controlled opposition or not. If he is controlled opposition, which I've always definitely leaned into the, I've definitely leaned into that, considering how much traction he gets through the algorithm, even though he's canceled after 2020, like so many others, and then came back all at the same time, like all these other people. Like, do I really need to go through the list of people who all got their channels removed and then all came back all at the same time like clockwork? I mean, do I need to go through the list? But regardless, if I had to choose between, maybe Alex Jones and David Icke, I guess I would tend to favor, while Alex Jones is more entertaining with the antics and the funny gaffes and such. Problem, reaction, solution. Of course, a way to explain the thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, or the Hegelian dialectic, widely used in modern social engineering. But this term is associated with and attributed to David Icke from his books and his texts. So, but that's kind of besides the point. So let's get to. Let me see here. I got a lot of information for you tonight, folks. But the moral of the story is, don't fall for disclosure. They're lying. Newsflash. Newsflash. It looks like Mr. Clint is live as well with a podcast of alien proportions. So as well as Mr. Sovereign Soul. But let's get into it. Let me switch gears here. He hit the button. You think he is controlled? Info drip. Yeah, gatekeepers and such. Alex is gone. The remote viewers are saying there's going to be a reptilian revealing itself on air. Well, I'd argue that that's been happening for quite a long time, wouldn't you say? Let's see here. Where am I at? Okay. Oh, you know what I could do? I think I can stop sharing this screen. Please bear with me and forgive me for the technical difficulties here. I'm dealing with multiple browsers, so there's going to be some. Okay. Cody, Decoding with Cody has been doing some great work, like this stream here, which has I think 15,000 views so far. It's not updated here, but this 2319 code, this 2319 code that connects everything, it is quite a doozy. And I have touched on the 2319 in the past, and I wish I could find those videos or video where I've touched on it, but it was quite a long time ago. And if I remember correctly, but these cryptic videos from James Franco recently, where he's pointing to the 2319 on TikTok, saying some serious stuff is happening. It connects to the Monsters Inc., right? Because in Monsters Inc., you had the door code to the scare floor, which was 2319, right? And then also you had, well, it's on a different note, but the 88 miles per hour with Doc Brown and Back to the Future. You know, when you hit 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit. But there are many connections there, and we might watch this. I think we will watch this because it's a shorter video. It's less than 20 minutes, unlike this over 2.5 hour stream here. But that will be for a little bit later. I want to get to the information I have prepared first. Let me see this playlist really quick. Yeah, this isn't the right playlist. Okay. But we will watch that. So again, here on the East Coast, it's now the 13th. So 6/13, which reminds me, of course, of Saros 136, right? Which is the eclipse cycle that we're in right now. Let me make sure this is working here. Okay, yeah. It's been a long game PSYOP, indeed, sir. Okay, this isn't the tab I wanted to show. Let me see here. This is an interesting article I found, actually. David Wilcock on the Vatican spaceship diagrams a witness saw with his own eyes. You might ask, what does David Wilcock have to do with this? Well, of course, David Wilcock, right? Dead at 53, so they say, allegedly, self-deleted at 53, right? 53 days exactly before the movie Disclosure. They said he was dead at 11:06 p.m., much like my birthday, 11:06, but that's another story. 11:06, when his name equals 116 in gematria. But anyway, so this was an interesting article here that actually just... It's weird because it says it looks like it dropped July 6th, but July 6th hasn't happened. So I'm guessing this actually means June 7th, the 7th of June. Yeah, 1 week ago. What if one of the world's most powerful institutions is hiding knowledge that could change everything we know about history, technology, and even our place in the universe? Claims about the Vatican and alleged spaceship diagrams have sparked intense debate, raising questions that blur the line between secrecy and speculation. For decades, the Vatican has held associations with ancient knowledge, preserved texts, and restricted archives. While it's officially recognized as a religious and historical institution, some believe it holds far more than theological records. Among the most controversial claims are those suggesting the existence of advanced technological designs, possibly not of human origin, hidden deep within its archives. According to accounts discussed by figures like David Wilcock, a witness allegedly observed detailed diagrams of spacecraft within Vatican-controlled materials. If true, these claims suggest that knowledge of advanced propulsion systems or ET technology has existed far longer than the public has acknowledged. What are the Vatican spaceship diagrams? We might go back to this article, but it's a little bit long. Not that long, but I had some other information. There you go. The very credible Ancient Aliens, of course, on the very credible History Channel. That's most definitely not controlled by the CIA and the government apparatuses. But yeah, there you go. Another very credible channel, Zohar Ancient History, of course. Very credible. And I'm totally not being facetious and sarcastic when I say that. Here you go with your AI created picture. But let's get to, let me see here. Let me see here. Okay, we're having some loading issues here. It's kind of annoying me. Let me see. Oh yeah, the top 5 plot theories are interesting as well. Let me get to, let me play one of these actually first. Some movie reviews. Let's check this one out. This is kind of short. First reactions. Critics left stunned in first reactions to Disclosure Day. They just found out he's a pedo.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if all of this turned out to be true?
Steven Spielberg hasn't released a feature film since 2022's semi-autobiographical The Fablemans, but he's back, and some say better than ever. Disclosure Day is screened for select critics, and many are calling it a revelation. Jim Hemphill of IndieWire didn't mince words, raving, Disclosure Day is a top-tier Spielberg, as exhilarating as Raiders of the Lost Ark, but with the emotional texture and increased ambition of his post-9/11 work. Right from the opening, Spielberg lays down the gauntlet and reminds you that he does this stuff better than anybody in the history of film. Bill Bria of Slashfilm echoed that sentiment while also praising the script, score, and star, writing, Disclosure Day is the weirdest movie Spielberg's ever made. Complimentary. Breathtaking compositions, David Koepp's X-Files meets the Bible script is one big high-wire act. Emily Blunt's most accomplished performance. John Williams' best score in years. Riveting, moving stuff. Spielberg's next epic remains largely shrouded in mystery ahead of its mid-June release. But it's already making waves. Very few people have seen Disclosure Day, but those who have really loved it. Gizmondo's Jermaine Lussier called it a dense rollercoaster ride blending chase film, love story, and mystery, all wrapped in sci-fi wonder. It's Spielberg's best film in 20 years, filled with all the magic that makes this film so special, plus an all-time character/performance by Emily Blunt.
Whatever happens.
Okay, yeah, so this is all cap because everyone's saying it's complete trash. So that's interesting.
How'd you let go?
Reporting on the film for Collider, Stephen Weintraub wrote, in a shock to absolutely no one, Steven Spielberg has delivered another towering home run with Disclosure Day. I could go on and on about what I loved, but I was lucky enough to see the movie knowing almost nothing, and I strongly recommend you do the same. Weintraub also praised Emily Blunt's incredible performance, saying he expects she'll get award season attention.
Do not go back to the house. They found you. I don't know who you are, but they're gonna kill you.
Freelance critic Tessa Smith also loved the film, writing, Disclosure Day is absolutely phenomenal, truly something special. I was hanging on to every word, captivated by the story as it all played out. The score perfectly every single scene. Part mystery, part Twilight Zone, something new entirely. I shed a tear at the end. Wow.
Do you think there could be others?
So what is Disclosure Day about? For those who don't mind light spoilers. The final trailer offers tantalizing glimpses of extraterrestrials, along with a bit more clarity about the premise. The title refers to a fateful day when the world learns there really is intelligent life beyond Earth. We see glimpses of that in the trailer, including a tense scene with Colin Firth's mysterious Noah Scanlon, who argues that humanity just isn't ready for the revelation.
The human race cannot accept what we know.
The interesting thing about the final trailer is that Steven Spielberg himself provides commentary, and if you're at all familiar with his work, you know he's long been fascinated by extraterrestrials, though the vibe appears more Close Encounters of the Third Kind than E.T.
I am much more inclined now than I was when I made Close Encounters.
Discover for yourself what the hype is all about when Disclosure Day lands in theaters on June 12th.
So again, if you choose to go out and pay your own money, your own currency, your own time and energy to fund who many argue is a serial pedo, let's just say, and abuser of youth, that's on you, and you're gonna have to live with that, right? If I went to see this in the movie theaters, which I'm not totally against, because I think to get the full experience, you kind of have to go in the theaters, right? To really get that mind control and those targeted, weaponized frequencies that they're most likely broadcasting in the theater, you really have to be there, right? Anyway, we're over 20 minutes in, so let's get to my information here it's not my information, but what I've gathered here, okay? Because, oh, you saw it. You already saw it. Oh, no, you haven't seen it. That's you talking smack. Okay, let's get to it. Let me see here what you said here. If the tech they have is years and decades ahead of what they show us, and AI is almost impossible to tell if it's real on well-done ones, then how long have they been using it on us? Great point, sir. Great point. Again, AI. What is AI? Is it artificial intelligence, or is it the alien invasion, or are they synonymous? Are they one and the same? And as you can see in the bottom right, the media lies. Scientism is a religion. Public education is indoctrination. Television is mind control. Politicians are corrupt. Masons worship Lucifer. Even though they may say otherwise. Occultists rule the world, or so they think. There is no outer space. I don't know if I agree with that. So, I didn't make that meme there. But aliens are demons. It's hard to disagree with. Vaccines are eugenics. Also hard to disagree with. Cancer is a weapon. Also hard to disagree with. They're hiding the truth. They're hiding the creator. They want your children's mind. They're coming for your guns. Don't forget Operation Fast and Furious, of course, folks. They want you to obey, submit, conform. You are a slave if you think you are. And even if you don't, you very well may be. In the end, you get what you deserve. Wake up and do some research. Your ignorance is a choice. Your children deserve the truth. Real eyes, realize, real lies. Snake eyes. So, again, the 2319 code we might get into later. But as you can see also here in the kind of middle, off right to the right a little, the famous quote by CIA Director William Casey from 1981. He said, "We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the U.S. public believes is false." Right? And if you go to the top left, as you can see here in the top left, June 2026, it is exactly 666 years after. What is it after, folks? It's Saros 136 eclipse cycle that Trump is synced up with, because Trump was born on a blood moon. And that's something that we also might get into. I think that's included in my decode. So let's see here. I shouldn't say my decode. I should say the decode, because it wasn't entirely me who came up with it. I have to give some credit where credit's due. More than anything to the Most High, the creator of all things. Aliens are demons. Yeah, hard to disagree with you there, sir. Somebody said AI has been running things the whole time. Where is Donald Marshall? That's a great question. Where is he? Where has he been? Hey there, good morning. Well, Grand Rising, even though it is the middle of the night here. But I really want to get into this information. I'm just going to catch up on the chat. Disclosure is just part of Satan's little season. Indeed, indeed. The Pleiadians have landed today in the White House. So they say. Hosted on. We got Older Bones in the house. We got Rocky in the house. We got Fire Drake, Aaron, Logical Spark. I got some real ones here, folks. So let's get to it. Coming from space to teach you about the Pleiades. Red Hot Chili Peppers can't stop lyrics, indeed. Indeed. All right. Without further ado, folks. Without further ado. I also did want to say it's very funny how this is my 206th video on Pineal Power Podcast. It's very funny considering it's the 13th, which is half of 26. It's also 2026. Decoding with Cody currently has, I think he has 616 videos, which is a major part of tonight's decode. So let's get to that here. Let me see. Well, here, let me show this first, right? You got the FIFA World Cup, right? There's your FIFA World Cup, okay? 2026. That's this year's World Cup, okay? That's not what every World Cup looks like every year. That's this year's World Cup. Well, the World Cup doesn't happen every year. It happens what is it, every how many? Every 4 years? Every 8 years? I don't even know. I don't follow it. Don't really care enough to follow it that closely, or any organized sport for that matter. But here's your War of the Worlds. Here's your War of the Worlds. All right. So look at that. You see the hand grabbing the globe, right? The globe programming. And here's your FIFA World Cup. Here's your War of the Worlds. Here's your FIFA World Cup. Now here's the thing. Who directed War of the Worlds, folks? Was it Steven Spielberg, aka Steven Pedoberg? Shout out to Isaac Cappy. Yeah, it was. And what do we have going on right now? We have World War III, right? We also have the World Cup, which is hence the name of the title of the stream, War of the World Cup, because that is what you're seeing here, folks. All perfectly synchronized with the release of Disclosure Day, synced up with War of the Worlds, synced up with, again, the World Cup, the NBA Finals, so many other things, folks. So many other things. Here's Mr. Werner von Braun. A famous quote from Werner von Braun's associate, Carol Rosen, right? This lady right up here. They're all lies. Let me just play this right here, actually, first, before we get to the decode. About how the alien card will be the last card, right? Operation Paperclip scientist Werner von Braun's former associate Carol Rosen says that von Braun described the lies they were planning on telling us. Let me see how long this video is here. Okay, yeah, we're going to play this out. All of it, folks. All of it is a lie. Now, is it all a lie, or is it mostly a lie? That's for you to decipher, discern, and decode on your own, based on your own discernment, right? There you go. So was Carol Rosen being genuine? Was she being authentic? Was she being truthful in her statement? Or is she part of the multi-level, right? Not multi-level marketing, but multi-level, multi-tier PSYOP, a lie within a lie. That's for you, again, to decipher and discern for yourself. Is it a lie that it's all a lie? Is that a half-truth? Again, I don't claim to know. I don't claim to know. I'm just trying to figure it out like you folks. There you see Mr. Werner von Braun with Mr. JFK. And again, obviously, this is, I'm guessing, Carol Rosen from a much earlier time, before her hair went gray. And I have to say, she does look quite a lot like Mrs. Rosa Core, R.I.P. Rosa Core, who I'm pretty sure I started off my last or second to last video with. So I think it's interesting how much they look alike, but we're not going to get into any actor-based reality theories here on the stream. As far as I remember, I have learned to use the word impossible with the greatest caution. It's a quote from Werner von Braun. I also don't use that word, right? Because impossible is just I'm possible. That's all that is, folks. And again, here's that quote, right? Here's that quote that you just heard in the video. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens, and all of it, he said, is a lie. So here you see Werner von Braun's tombstone, of course, with the Psalms 19:1, which of course reads, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork." Here you got Mr. Werner von Braun's identification card. from Fort Bliss. Interesting name. Here you got him with his SS friends, his Nazi buddies there. NASA extraordinaire. And again, here you have your famous quote from Mr. CIA, former CIA director. We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the U.S. public believes is false. Is that saying that there's not other agencies in place and other place, you know, MI6, MI5, et cetera, Mossad, et cetera, that are also doing the exact same thing? Of course not. I would garner that they're doing the same thing. Here's another quote that says, "I am the source for this quote," which was indeed said by CIA Director William Casey at an early February '81 meeting of the newly elected Reagan with his new cabinet secretaries to report to him on what they had learned about their agencies in the first couple weeks of the administration. The meeting was in the Roosevelt Room in the West Wing of the White House, not far from the cabinet room. I was present at the meeting as assistant to the chief domestic policy advisor to the president. Casey first told Reagan that he had been astonished to discover that over 80% of the intelligence that the analysis side of the CIA produced was based on open public sources like newspapers and magazines. As he did to all the other secretaries of their departments and agencies, Reagan asked what he saw as his goal as director for the CIA, to which he replied with this quote, which I recorded in my notes of the meeting as he said it. Shortly thereafter, I told senior White House correspondent Sarah McClendon, who was a close friend and colleague, who in turn made it public. So there you go. So both quotes backed up by quotes. A quote backed up by a quote from someone who knew them personally, allegedly, and another quote backed up by someone who knew them very closely and personally, allegedly. So allegedly, right? And we still might make that other channel at some point called Allegedly. But let me see here. A lot of very interesting birthdays and deaths on June 11th and June 12th and June 13th and every day, I'm sure, right? JFK honored by Yale. Interesting. Yale Skull and Bones. Honored by Yale on 6/11, the upside down 9/11. Oh, wow. You know, I forgot about that story where the monk burned himself alive. Fascinating. Oh, look at that. So there you go. So there's another connection, right? It's the 33-year. Wait a minute. I think it's the 33-year anniversary of E.T., no? But the math doesn't check out because that would mean it'd have to be 83. Well, I might have that in the decode. I forget because the decode's quite lengthy. Of course, Argentina. You got your first papal visit to Argentina. And, you know, the last pope, Pope Francis, was, if I'm not mistaken, the first Argentinian pope, also the first openly Jesuit pope. Of course, this is not him. This is Pope John Paul II. But interesting that his first visit to Argentina was June 11th, 82. Peter Thiel supposedly just ran away with his family to Argentina. Is it because everyone's going to find out that he's an alien? Yeah, maybe. It's possible. Oh, here we go. Reagan. The funeral. Okay, see, I forgot about this one. So the funeral of Ronald Reagan was June 11th. So, swine flu pandemic, 2009. There's Mr. Obama getting his totally, I'm sure, genuine, authentic injection. Definitely not a fake needle that retracts when you push it in, like the one that Biden got. I'm sure he totally got a legitimate injection with the same, you know, poison juice as everyone else. Definitely not a fake jab. Of course not. Okay, anyway. So again, the World Cup kicked off, pun intended, on June 11th. Just this past June 11th, the other day. let me see something here because I have multiple windows and tabs open. So give me a minute here. I'm going to have to switch windows. Let me catch up on the chat too. No sound, really? Oh no. Oh no, what didn't have sound? Oh gosh. Good grief. Good grief, folks. How long has there not been sound? I apologize. That is just not okay. That is just not okay, folks. Let's see what you said here. 2026 minus 666 equals 1360. What happened that year? You want to know what happened that year, sir? 1360, if I'm not mistaken, is the year that Saros 136, the eclipse cycle that is nearing its end now, started. 1360. Let's fact check that really quick here. Let me stop sharing the screen and try this out here. Bear with me, folks. And the Saros 1360 cycle is very important to all the things that many of the things that we are seeing play out on the world stage. So, all right, you know what? I guess we're gonna have to. Yeah, I don't know why the sound wasn't working. It must be because I'm not in the right window. I'm in a different window here. This is what I'm gonna have to do. This is what I'm gonna have to do here. I'm gonna have to jump in on this browser. Oh, so the Von Braun vid. Okay. Give me a second here. All right. So, oh, is there an echo? How was there an echo? Oh, I see, because I have to shut this one down. What is going on here? This is bizarre. Oh, there isn't an echo. Oh, so it didn't matter. Whatever. I think I fixed it anyway. Let me catch up with the chat and then get to the decode. This is some newbie beginner stuff here, folks. Right, I was going to show the Saros 136, right? Can't stop addicted to the shindig. 206. Yeah, well, this is the 206th stream on Pineal Power Podcast, if I'm not mistaken. So there's all these organic synchronicities as well, of course, as always. So let's go to my channel here. Let's go to my channel. So as you can see, 205. Let's go to my channel here. 206th, right? Very fitting. Go to my channel. Very fitting. So as you can see, 205. Let's go to my channel here. 206th, right? And then if you very fitting, Mr. Very fitting. So as you can see, 205's channel. My channel. Check out Decoding with Cody's channel. Has been putting in amazing work. Very fitting. 616 videos, which is a major part of the decode tonight. Check out Decoding with Cody's channel. Has been putting in amazing work. Very fitting. 616 videos. I'm getting a major. Oh, that's because my stream's playing. That's great. That's great stuff, Sean. You're doing good stuff. So as you can see here again with James Franco pointing directly to the 2319. Of course, it is currently 19 years since the release of the movie The Number 23 with Jim Carrey, right? 2319. 19 years since the number 23 movie dropped. So go figure, he's got 616 videos, right? What many argue is the actual mark of the beast number, not 666. Many argue it's 636. Many argue it's 616. Anyway, and as you can see, he's got the 1-6 and the 6-1 there. But let me see something here. Let me see something here. So yeah, shout out to Decoding with Cody. If you guys aren't already over there, I mean, he puts great presentations together. He finds some amazing stuff and compiles it in a way that is extremely thought-provoking, to say the least. There were some more 26, 616 connections that I think are also in the decode. Maybe I'm just going to drag it out for another a little under 20 minutes till I get to the decode. So I could say I started the decode around an hour, so that I could put that in the description so that people can, if they want to, just fast forward to the hour mark. Cthulhu holding the ball. Indeed. Well said. Orange fever is 1086, right? That number that just keeps repeating over and over and over again, right? Bones, like with the Butler incident with Mr. Trump, with the head wound, the ear wound, whatever. But Orange Fever is 1086, the iconic bus that's touring around the World Cup from the Netherlands. World War III, written out as words, is also 1086. Faves. Can't stop the spirits when they need you. This life is more than just a read-through. Indeed. Yeah, sorry about the sound issue there before. That's unfortunate. This is one of the things maybe one of my things that I maybe will get better at is I just love reading the chat. I love, I love talking to you guys. So, you know what I mean? It's a whole part of the, you guys are one of the main elements that make the streams what they are. So, and I will drop the link, I think, at some point if I if I extended the stream a little longer. Werner Avon Braun's wife died by the numbers the day of Trump's inauguration. Right, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. That's the day Elon and Trump both said we were going to Mars, and Elon did the Nazi salute. What some say was the Nazi salute, right? What was obviously, yeah. Werner's book, Project Mars, where Elon colonized Mars. Indeed. Everything is alleged. Is this a Q safe space? No, it's definitely not. If there's any Q-tards here, let's get, maybe it is. It's a safe place. You can get therapy here. Thiel just made some deals in Argentina today. No Q, but for the Q-tards. All the Nazis run to Argentina. There seems to be something there. Yeah, indeed. E.T. was released on June 11th. Thank you, sir. That's what it was. It wasn't, I guess it wasn't, maybe it was Jurassic Park that I'm thinking of, that, and not, what did I say before? I think I'm getting, his movies mixed up. E.T. and Jurassic Park and War of the Worlds. All right. So my sound's always been fine. That's good to know. Most alien abductions and probing are by intelligence services, all directed by Vampire Nation. Yeah, sorry about that double audio. Good things I'm not on mushrooms. Yeah. James Franco is an actor. Indeed. Trump is an actor. Just saying. Indeed. Apparently the 23rd jab cures COVID. Yeah, I've heard that. Conjob 1984, aka Covert 19, aka Covert 19 AI, or Covert ID AI, right? Because Cove is COV, which is short for covert, and then the ID, which is identification. So you have your covert identification 19, right? 1 and 9. AI, the first and the 9th letter. So were people inoculated with AI into their DNA, making them cyborgs? Thoughts? Your thoughts? Anybody? Food for thought? Jurassic Park is legendary. Many people would say that, all of Steven Spielberg's long list of blockbuster hits are legendary. The British are world-renowned for their ability to queue. Do I know Sabrina Wallace? Personally, I think I've maybe exchanged comments with her a couple times, like a year ago. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Sabrina Wallace. I was just watching her the other day. Yes, W-band. Right. Wide body area network. Indeed. If you guys aren't familiar with Sabrina Wallace, I would highly recommend you look into her stuff. Whether you think she's controlled opposition like the channel The Shills, who doesn't really have that great of a, also wireless body area network or wide body area network. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that channel right now. Shout out to Cody. Where am I at here? I got so many tabs open. It's a problem. It's a problem. I should probably close this tab so that there's no echo. It's a problem. It's a problem. Yeah, I should pause my own stream. Let me see how the poll's doing here. Let me see how my poll is doing. Oh, I'm going to have to log into a different account here. Let me see how my poll is doing. Oh, I'm going to have to log into a different account here. That guy's annoying. All right, let's see here. All right, so you guys say, based on your votes, we got 12 votes. It looks like the majority of you, as far as the question, are aliens a lie or are they real? What about disclosure? It seems that the majority of you say, no clue, you've never been abducted or probed. At least you don't think so, right? And then the second highest vote is that aliens are real. Greys, mantids, Nordics, and reptilians. So Fox Noise, aka Fox News, when of course Fox equals 666 in Gematria, you guys think that Fox is legitimate. So that's interesting. That's an interesting take. And then there's a tie for the other choices, that aliens are entities, fays, fairies and spirits, etc. And that also the C vote, which is that what you imagine is real, life is a dream. So we're going to keep that poll open. I'm not going to close it just yet. See how many people get in there. It's amazing how Paul had like hundreds of people casting the vote there, and yet only had like 60-something people watching, allegedly, according to YouTube. So that's interesting. We got a movie review from Woodward TV. What did I just watch? Yeah, that's probably what I would say. You even have Glenn Beck. Who on his last video, which I didn't watch, but I noticed on the thumbnail and the title of the video, was that it was a government psyop. Well, quite interesting to hear from Glenn Beck, right? Of all people. You have the Mexico World Cup opening ceremony, which your pyramid NWO programming, of course, as always. It was very strange, of course, as always. Like all the rituals and psyops on the world stage. Signs and Lying Wonders. We're not going to play that one probably tonight because it's too long, almost an hour. But I think we have time to play one really quick from Mr. J. Dyer. Just about to hit 10K views on that video. Don't fall for disclosure. With his Jew UFO.
Brookings Institute white paper discussed in 1960 how religious engineering of a new alien mythos would replace the biblical view of Western civilization. This is evident in the academic literature. It's not a conspiracy book, goobers. Aliens is literally Talmudic. What's up, dog?
This truth were just known overnight. If the government announced, yes, we have been keeping this from you since 1947, that would mess up a lot of people. And the movie also takes the position of the church. What does this do to the fundamental beliefs that many of us have? And, is God our God only on this planet? Or is God a God for every system where there's civilization, intelligent life?
Who was writing books about this 10 years ago? Telling you? What your boy Steven Spielberg just admitted? Steven Spielberg has remarked that after you see Disclosure Day, many Christians will be forced to reconsider their deeply held beliefs. Hello? I told you 10 years ago in my books, Esoteric Hollywood 1, Esoteric Hollywood 2, that the whole faking Galian psyop was about uprooting the entire Christian ethos.
Fake and Galian.
In fact, I tweeted and retweeted and tweeted and retweeted. I tweeted and I retweeted. We tweeted and I tweeted and I retweeted. Probably 100 times in the last year about this topic. Now, I've been saying this for many years. The Talmudic teaching is that there's 18,000 worlds, and all those worlds have beings. So aliens is literally Talmudic. You can go look up the section of the Talmud about 18,000 worlds. And I read that like 15 years ago. So I was like, oh, so aliens is actually just a Talmudic perspective. This also obviously ties in with the Gnostic perspective too, right? Gnosticism, same idea. Ancient Hindu stuff, same idea. There's infinity planets, the gods. It's just the gods.
That's weird. I didn't even press pause.
It never gets old resharing this one. Got 100,000 views on this one. Brookings Institute white paper discussed in 1960 how religious engineering of a new alien mythos will replace the biblical view of Western civilization. This is evident in the academic literature. This is not a conspiracy book. This is an academic text. Dr. Brenda Denzler, her study of UFO religions and cults and movements, University of California Press, page 149, she says that according to Arthur C. Clarke and the Brookings Institute, one of the top think tanks out there, she says, when they release Disclosure, Alien Life, so-called, it will have the effect, as Steven Spielberg says, of uprooting the Western biblical perspective.
Peter Bergstein.
You're going to question all your theological presuppositions. Why? Because aliens are trying to get in people's butts. Do we all know that's a psyop? It's a bunch of gay people in the military trying to get laid because they can't. So they're dosing people and getting in their butts at night. We all.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Aquino. You know what I'm saying? And when I say shout out, I mean rest in piss, dude. Rot in piss.
No, that's what it is. It's the Gata males running the system in the kakistocracy, right? Using the MK Ultra SRA alien techniques to kidnap people to get in. That's the only way they can get in butts, dude, is to kidnap them at night. Because nobody wants to get on their butts.
Yeah.
I know. Would you? Who?
Again, if you guys aren't familiar with the term kakistocracy, that's one for your research when you get the chance. That's kakistocracy with the K-A-K.
What? The Christian religion would be particularly compromised. This is 1960 because, by the way, how many dumb clergy and priests and people are already on board with this? There may be aliens and Jesus loves them too. Dude, it's obviously a psyop. How are you all so naive? You're supposed to have spiritual discernment as clergy. I don't just mean Orthodox clergy. There's some of them. But hello, St. Seraphim Rose already warned everybody 50 years ago that it's demonic. Duh. It says it right here in the book. NASA contracting out to the Brookings Institute, one of the top think tanks up there with Rand Corporation, up there with Carnegie Endowment, Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, Soros Foundation, one of the top foundations out there, Think Tank Institute, etc. And in 1960, they were strategizing how it would undo Christianity. Duh. How do people not see this? When they say that's what they're doing. And then Steven Spielberg comes out and says exactly that. By the way, when I said I was retiring from religious debates, we had a scientism man chimed in because he thought he was getting owned. And he didn't realize when I said science is fake and gay that it's a joke. See, this is what's weird about that. When you do this stuff, debates and stuff, and you do it for 10 years straight interacting with the public, you realize, dude, the public is slow boy, man. They're out to lunch, dude. They probably will believe Spielberg's. They probably actually will have their positions shaken by Steven Spielberg's propaganda movie, right? They said, are you going to do scientific debates now that you're not doing religious debates? And I said, science is fake and gay.
I mean, here's the thing, right? If you're actually going to give your time and energy and currency, your money, right, to this, alleged pedo, right? I use alleged loosely. But yeah, shout out to Isaac Cappy. But if you're going to give your money and put it in the pockets of this guy, I mean, that's on you. You're going to have to live with that, folks. I'm not saying I wouldn't go to the movies and see it, watch this movie. But I wouldn't buy a ticket. I would not buy a ticket. It's just too easy to get into a movie without a ticket. It's just too easy. Just like it is to get into a festival or anything else where there's people who you shouldn't want to give money to. I just came back from Rockville, and I just couldn't find it in my heart and in my brain and heart to buy a ticket when it was $600 and something. No, I'll just go and get in anyway and not buy the ticket, And I had a great time. Saw Guns N' Roses, saw Godsmack, saw Whitechapel, A Day to Remember, All That Remains, on and on and on. Did I pay a dime? No. It was great. Do I think some of those bands are demonic? Of course. Do I think that seeing them means that I support them in all their ventures? Of course not. But anyway, let's continue and then we'll get to the decode, folks. Thanks for being here.
There were scientism bros like, we got to be finally admitted he doesn't believe in science. You can't tell a joke. No, they can't. People cannot tell jokes. In your interview with Kat Von D, that goth chick was pretty awesome. Well, what did you think about her though? Get it? See, I'm busting out one-liners on the fly, dude. See? Who else is doing this? Who else is refuting Spielberg, undoing Illuminati alien psyops, calling out the gay haters, and doing one-liners at the same time on a live stream? No one else can do this. No one else can do this.
I disagree.
Transcendental to nullers. It's interesting that UFO disclosure will shake Christianity, but Spielberg doesn't think it will shake Islam or Judaism exactly. Well, I mean, aliens are from the Talmud, so.
Aliens are from the Talmud. So here, whoa, 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 whoa. Where is this coming from? Okay, I have a video playing somewhere. Where is this coming from? Great. I have a video playing in the background. Where is it coming from? Oh, there it is. Okay, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this, man. Okay, I figured it out. My apologies. I'm going to minimize that. All right, so what do you guys think? Should I save the decode for another stream and just kind of do like more of this review of videos and such? Or should I do the decode? Because we're coming up on the hour mark. We had a little over a dozen of you in here a minute ago, and now we're down a half dozen. So what do you guys think? Olderbone says, Pleiades are underneath the fallen angel statues on the Hoover Dam. Can't stop the gods from engineering. Another Chili Peppers reference, of course. Pleiades are the 7 demon sisters in the Testament of Solomon, helping him build the temple. Can't stop the gods from engineering. It's all fake and Galilean, I would say. No says he was abducted by benevolent entities once, so he thinks. In his bed as a boy, my duvet cover turned into an igloo TARDIS of sorts. I was playing in there for hours. I tried and failed to recreate the structure I found myself in many times after it happened. It only occurred to me many years later it was an abduction. Again, there seems to be a very common theme and connection and link and whatnot between so-called alien abductions, what people call alien abductions, and demonic possessions, right? Or what we know to be referred to as demonic possessions. So again, are aliens demons? Is that even a question at this point? Trump standing at the White House talking to the Pleiades while he's building a temple in the blueprint of Solomon Temple. Can't stop the gods from engineering. Cacrostocracy is a noun. Government by the least qualified or most unprincipled citizens. Government by the worst men. Government under the control of a nation's worst or least qualified citizens, indeed. And many could argue, and I would have to agree with them, that it sure seems that, especially now, that there is an intentional agenda to degrade, to make it look like these so-called leaders are completely inept and incoherent and inept, right, and incompetent, et cetera, et cetera. And is that all a ploy to get the people to just beg, to plead for the AI invasion, for the alien invasion, the artificial intelligence, for the AI governance? I would say that seems to be exactly what's going on, folks. The aliens always want me to do the probing. That's interesting. That's interesting, folks. Attention is currency, right? Alien, I'm begging you, please don't probe this man. Please don't probe just because you can. All right. I'm just the comments really are what are the highlight for me, and I know that's why I'm not one of the bigger channels, because I just sometimes a majority of my stream is just reading your guys' chats, man. You're banned on Dyer's channel. That's fascinating. All right, let's get to Duvet. Are aliens even real? To put AI in charge. All right, we're coming up on the hour mark. I think I'm going to get to the decode, folks, because it's just a fascinating decode. But oh, there we go. I figured out how to make my screen bigger again. All right, that's cool. Hide the panel there. Yeah, shout out to the Jew suits and the black nobility. All right. Let's see here. Share screen. I'm going to get to the decode. That's what I'm going to do. So how do I oh, there we go. You got to share the audio. Duh. All right, I'm going to have to just do the entire screen because it's not seeming to want to work with me here. Right. Again, the 13 bloodlines are the 13 bloodlines: the Astors, the Bundys, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. Is that the real 13 families, or is it the Aldobrandinis that control them? The Breakspears, the Chigis, the Orsinis, the Pallavicinis, right? All the Enis, the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo Italians, right? The black nobility, Jesuit, papal bloodline families. Are they the ones that control those other families? I would argue that it's the case, right? You know, with the exception of maybe the Rothschilds are supposedly Orsinis. Supposedly the Rothschilds are actually Orsini bloodline. Yeah, the Enis, right? All right. Anyway, an hour and 1 minute and 11 seconds. Let's get to the decode, folks. It's time. Disclosure Day. We deserve to know, folks. That's the tagline of the movie, right? And many of us already do. Many of us already do. It's all a lion. They're a lion, folks. It's fake and aliens. World War III, War of the World Cup, and the AI alien invasion. Beast of Revelation system rising. Even David Icke's calling it a psyop, folks. Even Julian, what is it? John St. Julian Baba Wanyama is saying they walk amongst us. I don't know. Is Trump a reptile, guys? What do you think? What do you think? Is he a moonchild? Well, we know he's a moonchild. We know he was born synced up with the Babylon working, the ritual that was done out in the, what was it, the Mojave Desert with Jack Parsons. Much to Aleister Crowley's chagrin, if that's the right word, much to his disagreement or because he wasn't very fond of what was going on. If I comprehended correctly, Crowley wasn't very fond of what Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard were doing with their ritual black magic and their summoning and their rituals out there in the desert. But I don't think that's included in the decode at all. But anyway, so let me zoom out here a little bit. Okay, so again, 6/11, right? The World Cup kickoff, right? The 9/11 upside down code there, right? 6/12. That just passed here on the East Coast. It's still 6/12 on the West Coast. It's 2:06. Look at that. It's 2:06 right now on the East Coast. Perfect. Again, 6/12, right? Like 6 plus 6, right? Also, it just is, of course, also 6 days after 6/6, right? This is Steven Spielberg's 6th Alien movie, right? And now here on the East Coast, it's 6/13, right? It's Jason Voorhees, Jason X's 80th birthday today, right? You know Jason X from the movies. What's the most popular one? I think Jason X is maybe just his name in one movie. I forget. I think he's more commonly referred to as just Jason Voorhees, but it's his 80th birthday today. So happy birthday, Jason Voorhees. Tomorrow is Trump's 80th birthday. So hold on. So you're telling me that Jason Voorhees was born, the beast out of the sea, Jason Voorhees, was born one day exactly before Trump? That's fascinating. Is it possible that Jason X, just like Biff from Back to the Future, just like Donnie Darko from Donnie Darko, and so many other characters from these movies, is it possible that Jason X is just another character that is based on Trump? Just like the casino owner in Snake Eyes right here? Not Nick Cage. That's not Trump. It's the casino owner. But anyway, so Trump's 80th birthday is tomorrow. And he's, of course, having the big UFC fight at the White House, right? Which is the purpose of this meme right here. Oh, do I not have it here? Oh, I don't have it here. Okay, that's okay. I have it in another meme. So yeah, Jason, the beast out of the sea, equals Trump, the beast of Revelation, who rides around in the beast, right? Right here. You see it up here? He rides around in the beast. And funny enough, I actually, like I said, when I was at Rockville, I forgot that he went there with the beast and rode around the beast at the Daytona 500 racetrack. some years before I went, of course, I think, but I think he'd been there at least one time. Anyway, so also this is all synced up, of course, with the fake disclosure at the White House that they're doing with this David Grush guy. Truth Seekers, I think, has been the Truth Seekers channel has been covering that. I haven't really been able to tune into. I haven't tuned into that. I shouldn't say I haven't been able to, but I haven't actually tuned into any of that. But I know enough to know that it's all fake and Galian, right? So here you can see Mr. Orson. I think that's OrsonWelles. Or is that H.G. Wells? No, I think that's OrsonWelles who adapted H.G. Wells's War of the Worlds, right? So H.G. Wells, right? Wells supposedly had, was the original creator of that War of the Worlds here on the radio program, which later, or sorry, the book. I think he was the one who wrote the book, right? And then Orson Welles was the one who did the radio program that freaked a lot of people out at the time because people thought it was a real emergency broadcast signal, radio broadcast. But again, the War of the Worlds cover equals the World Cup logo, as you can see here. It's pretty hard to deny that that is a spitting image there, folks. All synchronized at the same fucking time. And of course, again, War of the Worlds, directed by Steven Spielberg, you know, Cohen. You get the point. So again, this was when I found this. It just blew my cap off, right? So 6/11 was exactly 111 years, 1 month, and 6 days after Orson Welles' birthday. What do you think of that one? I'm trying to make it bigger, not smaller. That's what she said, right? So you're going to see this repeating theme with the 611, the 116, the 616, the 911, 119, repeating in this decode, and they're all part and parcel. So 616 is the prime number of 4547, 4547, or 4547, right? Like how Trump is POTUS number 45 and 47, right? So 616 is also like the date 616 that's coming up here in a few days, June 16th, which is also my father's 59th. It would be his 67th birthday, rather. He was born in 59, but 616 will be. See, I'm not following the NBA Finals, so I don't know why I thought it. I'll just put would be because I don't even know. Is the NBA Finals still going? I that's how much I don't give a shit about the NBA Finals, but would be. I thought it ended at Game 4, but you guys are gonna have to help me out there. 6/16 would be Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and Trump was just at Game 3, and he was the first POTUS at the NBA Finals, just like the Super Bowl. I don't know why that's not included there. I thought I typed that in. That's very strange. Maybe I didn't save the finals and the Superb Owl. What was it? Superb Owl 60? Super Bowl 60, aka Superb Owl, aka Super Bowl. 6/16 is also the reported death date of Wernher von Braun, father of rocket technology, former SS officer and later head of NASA, who allegedly said the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens, and all of it is a lion. A lie. Because they are a lion, folks. Newsflash. And go figure, he is born in March, right? Mars, like the god of war. Mars. And then go figure he died on 6/16, my father's birthday. Who passed on 3/16, actually. Like John 3:16. Wernher von Braun, go figure, equals 116 in 2 ciphers and 616 in reverse primes. So, what do you guys think of that? Wernher von Braun equals 116 twice and 616. So for more 616, 6/16 2016, coming up here in a few days, is exactly 116 months after 10/16/16, or October 16th, 2016, when the Killing Reagan documentary released. So just think about that for a sec. On its face, June 16th, or 616, is exactly 116 months after 11616, because drop the 0, right? Zeros doesn't count in numerology. 11616 after the Killing Reagan documentary release, right? Of course, many people compare Trump to Reagan, right? Even my Jesuit-educated cousin has he did at one point have a poster, a big, like, not poster, but a painting or a mural, whatever the heck, of Reagan, because he's a big Trump-tard. He likes Reagan too. And many Trump-tards just love Reagan. I don't know what it is. I forget what, other than that, he's a Republican, was a Republican, I'm pretty sure, and all that. And they have a lot of the same values and ideals or whatever. I'd be curious to go try to look up some examples of times where Trump spoke on Reagan to see what he had to say, to jog my memory. But just to add to the 616, though, look at this. Look at this. So I'm going to go to 160% zoom here, just to go with the 16 code we got going here. 616. June 16th is also the death date of Timothy, or sorry. Let me not jump ahead here. June 16th, 2019, which is an upside down. 19 is an upside down 16, right? 6/16/19 was when Martin Feldstein, there you go, another Steen, right? Another Stein. And Stein, if I'm not mistaken, like Epstein, equals Elvis. Shout out to Jurassic Liars, who shows how that is so. But I think it's a gematria value. I think Stein equals Elvis in gematria. But Martin Feldstein, Bergowitz, Cohenstein, the chief economic advisor to President Reagan, died that day at 79. But I meant to zoom this, make this smaller, because the 79 doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's why it's smaller. It's not significant to the decode, is what I'm saying. So that's why it's not highlighted. As you can see, the numbers that matter are highlighted for a reason. So just to add, June 16th is also the alleged death date of Timothy McVeigh, the biggest alleged, supposed, so-called terrorist, before and up until 9/11, right? Because the Oklahoma City bombing, the OKC event, was supposedly the biggest terrorist event and death toll up until 9/11, right? The upside down 611, or the upside down and backwards 116. It's all part and parcel, folks. It's all tied in here. So just to continue, the Apple apocalypse, as they called it, right? The Apple apocalypse video from the Worldwide Developers Conference 9 years ago. The release of this video, right? The Apple apocalypse video. If you fast forward 9 years and 11 days, you land on June 16th, coming up here in a few days. You can't make this shit up, folks. As I always say, you can't make this shit up, but they always do, day by day, like a script, because that's exactly what it is. And that's why they're using scripture, because they are fulfilling scripture. It's all a script. The Pearl Harbor movie, right? The Pearl Harbor movie release shortly before 9/11, 2001. If you fast forward 300 months and 22 days, you land on June 16th, 2026. 322, skull and bones, folks. And again, don't forget, what did they call 9/11, right? They called it the new Pearl Harbor. They called it the new Pearl Harbor, right? Pearl Harbor happened on December 7th, right? 12/7. Towers 1, 2, and 7 came down on 9/11, which is probably a lot of the reason why they called 9/11 the new Pearl Harbor, because that's exactly what it was. So go figure also, on another note, that 6/16 would have also been my father's 67th birthday, God rest his soul, and my birthday is 11/6, and my younger sis is 12/6. kind of like yesterday's date, if you write the day first, right? Because yesterday was I'm on the East Coast now, so it's already over. But 6/12, most areas of the world, they write the day first, so it would be 12/6 in most areas of the world. But anyway, so yeah, my younger sister's birthday is December 6th. My birthday is November 6th, and my older sister was very close to being born on September 6th. Ironically enough, she was born on September 5th, but had that actually played out, then we all would have been born on the 6th, me and my two sisters, and we would have been the 666 siblings there. That would have been very interesting. But anyway, so yeah, as you can see, like how 6/12 can be written 12/6. So before I continue, let me, well, you know what? No, it's actually, I'm almost done here. So I'll just finish and then we'll go to the chat. So Disclosure Day includes, the movie Disclosure Day includes North Korea in the plot, right? Synced up with the recent Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping meeting, as well as with the meeting with Putin. So it's all synced up with these current meets and news, right? All synced up perfectly, right? And then you also had some other obvious themes in Disclosure Day, again, like I had brought up with this fake disclosure at the White House, right? With these characters, Dave Grush, and I don't even know who some of these other clowns are, but you know, you got Dave Grush, right? You got Jeremy Corbell, right? You got Stephen Greer, and again, I know I played that video earlier from Carol Rosin, right? I noticed I found a video of her speaking at what was called, I think it was called the Disclosure Project. And right after she gave that speech at the Disclosure Project, she stepped down, and then guess who came up? Stephen fucking Greer. So do I believe what she said? I mean, it's hard to believe what she said. Again, is it possible when she said this quote, supposedly from Werner von Braun, that she was capping folks, that it was all cap? I don't discard that possibility. That the people saying everything's a lie are themselves lying, and that there's lies within lies within lies, multi-tiered lies, multi-tiered psyops, a psyop within a psyop, like a psyop sandwich, a psyop fucking a nothing burger of sorts. Anyway, just to continue, Will Smith, right, who played Robert Dean in Enemy of the State. Fast forward, and Colonel Robert Dean, same name, part of the Disclosure Project, was allegedly killed in the same 24 hours as Dr. Carl Wolf was allegedly killed, who was also part of the Disclosure Project. What do you think of that, folks? Which is why you can see in the meme here, I included this little Enemy of the State. You can see Enemy of the State right there, right? With Will Smith running in the cars, running away after being followed, while being followed. And you can also see Julia Roberts here and Mel Gibson from Conspiracy Theory, for the movie Conspiracy Theory, which also fits in, right? Because Julia Roberts will be allegedly at a White House, well, near the White House in DC, at an event while the UFC thing, I think, is going on, where Jane Fonda is going to be and some other people at an event, I think that's called Sing Out America or something like that, something to that effect. There's going to be another event going on. I think they're probably going to be protesting, kind of, you know, singing in protest against the regime and the blood sport celebration that is the UFC event for Trump's 80th birthday. But anyway, just to finish off strong here. So from Elvis's birthday, just to give a little wink and a nod to Mr. Jurassic Liars, Mr. Garo, from Elvis's birthday, January 8th, 1935, to this 6/11/26 that just passed, is 48,084,048 minutes. What do you think of that one? 48, 84, 48 minutes, or 801,408 hours. 801,408 hours, like 81 like Ritual, and 48 like this 4884 code here that you see in a triplet form here in this minute decode there. But yeah, what do you think of that, folks? What do you think of that decode? And I mean, you could just say that's, honestly, as long as decode of that as that is, that's scratching the surface, because there's so much more I could have included in that decode. But you know, you can't go on forever. So, oh, of course, once again, I wasn't full screen, was I? I wasn't full fucking screen. Incredible. Incredible, dude. I can't believe I wasn't full screen, dude. Just like the David Wilcock decode, I wasn't full screen. What a fucking fail, dude. What a fail. You know, okay, whatever. It was less than a 20-minute decode, so maybe I could just do it again as a separate as a separate decode, because the fact that it wasn't full screen is just really irks me, man. Half Italian, half Nordic. We are the original blood. They came and murdered many important families and assumed their identities. Yeah, the Merovingians, right? We are the children of the orphans trained children. Illuminati confirmed. Who knows? Indeed. I met Bonnie Prince Charlie on a bus once. He probably had no idea. Who is Bonnie Prince Charlie? Oh, Prince Charlie. I never joined any clubs. You know, I met Al Roker one time on a stairway. He was walking up the stairway at the Lowe's Hotel in South Beach when I was working the South Beach Food and Wine Festival. It was the same weekend I met Guy Fieri. I met Emerald Lagasse. I met Amanda Freytag from Chopped. I met some other, famous, Food Network fucking people. It was a crazy weekend, man. But Al Roker was the icing on the cake, man. That was crazy. I wanted so bad to ask him about that time he was MK Ultra'd on live TV when he kind of just froze and just kind of, So it's your bedtime. I've already been here too long. It's been fun. Lots of sixes, indeed. Friday the 13th. It's not Friday the 13th. It's actually Saturday the 13th. But there is another Friday the 13th later this year. I think it'll be the third Friday the 13th. This year, because there were two, I think, Friday the 13th in a row. What was it, February and March, if I'm not mistaken? JasonX is in the future, right? Good luck with that probing, Aaron. Yes, good luck with that probing, indeed. I got to watch The Accountant with Affleck last night. Oh, tonight. Oh, yeah, it's a good movie. There's a sequel, too, I want to watch. Supposedly, Jesus was born a day before me, just at the turn of autumn. Did you spell born like that for a reason? Jason born? Jesus born? The last people aliens would want to meet are government bureaucrats. He was just the narrator. Go and sit on the old robed man's knee and you'll get a present. Trump is Gog or Magog. I was watching a show from I'm pretty sure it was from 2001, and it's called Andromeda. I'm sure some of you older folks like Rocky probably have seen Andromeda, but I wasn't even double-digit age yet at the time. But yeah, it was just before 9/11, the episode I was watching, and it was about Gog and Magog, these creatures in the show Andromeda. Maybe I could pull up a clip from that show. Andromeda, I'm pretty sure it's called. Magog and Magag. Maga, the great magician, indeed, the highest degree in the Church of Satan. Magag. Yeah, Trump may gag on his own blood one day, and that might be how he goes out. We'll see. He's the greatest actor we've ever had as president. I have to agree, dude. I have to agree with you there. I think that is the case. Reagan was so bad he makes MAGA look good. Ronald Reagan. I like what you did there. I wonder if Trump's book made Oprah's book club list, right? Her New Age library book list. I wonder. Of course, you spell Oprah backwards. You got Harpo, right? Harp. You also got her Oprah Winfrey Network, right? Backwards, you got NWO. And they love to invert, pervert, and subvert everything. But more than anything, more than they love to subvert and pervert, they love to invert. Hiroshima and Nagasaki don't count. Rest in perfection. You seem to like numbers. Why not learn accounting? This is the thing, folks. This is the thing. Tribe, I'm going to need you to, you got to comprehend this, right? Numbers aren't just numbers. Numbers are letters, right? Numbers equal letters. So you see a number, but what you actually should see is a letter. When you see a number, you should see a word, because a letter and a word equals a number. So numbers aren't just numbers. Numbers are letters and words. That's the hard part that most people just can't come around to. They see numbers and that's what they stop at. They don't see the word. They don't see the letter, right? 47 isn't just a number. Trump isn't just number 47 and that's it. He's number 47 because authority equals 47, because government equals 47, right? Because Democrat, Republican, the cabal equal 47. Accounting is the language of business. Well, indeed, numbers don't lie. And numbers are letters and words. I'm watching the account after. I thought you just said you watched it. I'm confused. Affleck is doing instructional videos. All right. So what else? What else could I do? Could I shut it down? Should I keep going? Should I just keep reading the chat? Trump's birthday is tomorrow. No, Trump's birthday. Yeah. Well, yeah. Trump's birthday is the 14th. Wonder if that's why the fights are on Sunday. They've always been on Saturn's day. Yeah, it's his birthday party, dude. That's what it is. How about that? We're an hour and 26 in. Like 6:12. Accounts don't care about birthdays, just the bottom line. Bonnie. Charlie was a figure from 18th century. Are they all inverts? What do you think, guys? Should I shut it down? Should I keep going? Because we're at the hour 26 mark. I was thinking I'm either going to go for an hour and 26 minutes or 2 hours and 16 minutes. Letters suck for maths. Try multi-lying Roman numerals. Caesar equals Nero. 666. Perfect. We tried letter for numbers, Roman numerals. It failed. So we got a link here for President Dr. John Magufuli. What a name. Who had a meeting with Xi Jinping on December 15th, 2020. 92 days later, he was no more. Interesting. Well, let's see what else I got, because we're already past the hour 26 mark. So I think I might have to just go for the 2 hours and 16 minutes then. I wouldn't want to leave you guys hanging, you know? So let me see something here. Could also drop the link, but I did have some other things I definitely would like to show. So let me see here. All right. Let's see what else is in the chamber. He was famous for PCR testing cans of cola. That's fascinating. Okay, you know what? I did have, this is what I did have here. You see what I'm sharing here. Come on, what's going on here? Having some loading issues. All right, we're gonna go to the first few, at least the first few minutes of this video here. So let me make sure my screen. Oh, that's right. I'm sharing the whole screen. Okay. Fix this. Yeah. Share screen. All right. We're going to play at least the first few minutes of this here. Shout out to Shaking My Head, as always. Spielberg movies. E.T., Jaws, Indiana Jones, of course. Another movie with alien programming.
General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate.
We did touch on prime numbers, sir. We touched on prime numbers. Go back to the decode. Watch it again.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
Lines at the Loma Theater parking lot are a common sight these days, from morning till night, all week long. But a few other sights are becoming equally familiar. Take Paul Hubin's ice cream truck, for instance, or the Florida Thunder folding
Incredible. Just incredible. We're being doxxed, folks. We're being doxxed. It's the government.
It's the fucking government. It's the aliens. Are getting to me.
Yeah, I got the Marley treatment. The pinprick. The Marley McKenna treatment. Okay, am I back? Are we back? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you feel me? Eating some mango, some fresh mango. It's all good though. I had time to do something I wanted to do, get something I wanted to get really quick. As you get larger numbers, all right, we're 5 by 5. As you get larger numbers, prime numbers become scarce, hence crypto miners. All right, we're 5 by 5. Good deal. All right, let me see here. Let's try this again. Maybe I can cut that out in the stream afterwards. What's going on here? Where were we? Where were we here? I think we were right here where all these people were lining up to see this big movie. July to me. Isn't that funny how July is July? I think we were past this, right? There you can see Reagan with Spielberg here. Nancy and Ronald. Ronald like Donald. Ronald McDonald. With Mr. Pedoberg there. Much like how Spielberg's mother, actually. There's a great video. Let's try to find that. Spielberg's mom with Chabad Lubavitch. Spielberg's mommy and Chabad Lubavitch. Let's check this one out. Let's see if it's on YouTube, if we can find it. This is a goodie. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Leah Adler.
I'm Leah Adler from California. I own the Milky Way restaurant with my dear husband. And I would like to have brachas for all my children and grandchildren and my husband.
Have the name Mark?
Yes, I'm Steven Spielberg's mother also. Steven Spielberg, the famous film director, is my son.
Your son?
Yes.
You have his name also?
Yes. And it's all here.
Yeah. And I have a good news always. And to go from strength to strength in private affairs and strength for strength to strength about spreading Yiddishkeit in good mood with much success.
How about that, folks? This was posted by Jewish Media.
I'm Leah Adler from California.
What do you think of that one, folks? The rabbit hole goes deep, deeper than we can think. Indeed. Fascinating, don't you think, folks? So it's interesting how much he looks like Rabbi Schneerson too. But I'm pretty sure that's Chabad Lubavitch, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, folks, in the chat. Help me out here. The fundamental value of all data stems from the feature of being infinitely replicated without cost, hence the value of all the craptos being sub-zero, especially Bitcoin. My friend wouldn't like that comment there. It goes against the grain of free information exchange that is the origin of all digital innovation until today. Okay, so he probably did not know who Steven Spielberg was, and he did not care. He loved all Jews. The rabbi was such a humble man. Yeah, of course. So even though Spielberg says that this movie will, essentially just destroy humanity. I mean, destroy religion for so many Christians and other people who follow religion. Many people argue that point, rightfully so. I would go to see what Mr. Glenn Beck was saying about it, but I really I'm not going to do that. Yeah, there he is. There's Lubavitch. Spending the day with Steven Spielberg at his film archive. You know what? You know what else would be a pretty fun video to find here? Let's look up Spielberg, Isaac Cappy. Let's see what Isaac Cappy had to say about Mr. Spielberg. Of course, you get all this bull crap here. Steven Spielberg says, "I'm not a Pentagon plant."
The Pentagon or the government or any deep. I'm not a plant of the Pentagon or the government or any deep state contracting company. I'm literally a filmmaker that wanted to tell this story for many, many years.
Literally.
And but I had no idea that things were going to start to be disclosed, just as Disclosure Day was about to be disclosed.
Right, you had no idea. Of course, definitely not a plant. Let's hear that one more time.
Plant of. I'm not a plant of. I'm not a plant of. I'm not a plant of the Pentagon or the government or any deep state contracting company. I'm literally a filmmaker that wanted to tell this story for many, many years.
That's a fascinating clip there. I got to add that to the files there. That is just beautiful there. I'm gonna add that in. Definitely not a deep state plant. Definitely not a Pentagon plant. Totally authentic, folks. Totally genuine. Wow. So I want to find this. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to go to Mr. Tesmosis's channel. Let's see if Tesmosis has that video. Why am I unsubscribed again? Look at that. Unsubscribed. How about that shit? Oh, wow. Danny Jones gave a shout out to Tesmosis. That's pretty cool. Here, I know. Let's see. Spielberg. Cappy. That's not going to work. I'm going to have to go to his channel. Oh, wow. He has 201 videos and 120K subs. I like that. Okay, let's see. Spielberg. All right, so we got a lot of Spielberg stuff here. Gina and Joe Rue NASA Hybrid, Spielberg's Disclosure Day Fear Tactics. What else we got here? Dark Hollywood, the Lucasberg Files, Extra Molest Trial, the Iceberg Files. You could see Billy Crystal with Rob Reiner there, Tom Hanks. I forget who this guy is. Busfield. All right, there's Cappy. See, but I would have to. I don't know which stream. Yeah, that would be one that I'd have to maybe go to. You know what I can do? This is what I can do. Because, you know, you'll get some better luck on some other platforms sometimes. So let's see. Isaac Cappy Spielberg.
I don't understand it. Some people are just like really into the evil shit. Yarvo. Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a pedophile. Tom Hanks, folks, is a pedophile.
Allegedly.
I'm sorry if this is kind of bursting your bubble. All this information is new.
Allegedly, folks, for entertainment purposes, of course. This is an entertainment broadcast.
But it's time that this comes out into the open, because we are going to change the way everything works. Because at the top levels of wealth, of power, the very top levels, these people are just sick and psycho. Look into the Rothschild family. Do some research. You heard it's cannibals. Yeah, there is cannibalism. That's you know, the higher you go, the more sick it gets. Peter, what has been happening for a very long? Yes, it has. A very, very, very long time. And this is the thing. This is what really hurts about the situation, because a lot of people are kind of born into this. They grow up in it. They are abused, and through the abuse, especially as a child, you can break someone's subconscious mind. If you're not aware of any of this stuff, look into MK Ultra. I heard Bronfman has Fiji. Oh yeah. By the way, Bronfman, if you don't know who that is, Claire Bronfman, she's an heiress for Seagram's, the liquor company, and she got arrested yesterday. Oh, Jimmy Savile. Yes, I'm getting into that. That's on my notes here. That's in my notes. The royal family. Yeah, Jimmy Savile raped and murdered hundreds of kids over
Allegedly, folks.
over the course of 3 decades or longer. No one ever looked into it. And he hung out with the royal family. He was knighted. And
so there you go, folks. What do you think of that one? What do you think of that one? Oh, the Children's Health Defense. Definitely not another operation linked to RFK. We got London Man in the chat. But yeah, no deep state, straight to the cabal. Yeah, you know, well said, right? It's like you got to think about how they're talking, right? I'm not a Pentagon plant, right? I'm not a deep state plant. I mean, I'm in the cabal myself. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a you know a Jewish linked Kabbalah, you know, practicing cult, of course. I mean, but I'm not a Pentagon plant. I mean, come on. Amblin is his production company and first film named after a dater rape drug, right? All right, so what else do we got here, folks? What else do we got here? Here, where was that video actually?
I don't understand it. Some people are just like,
here, you know what? Let's see what this video is about here from Tesmosis. Gina Jo Rue, NASA hybrid, Spielberg's Disclosure Day fear tactics. I'm not familiar with who this is, but Gina Jo Rue speaking about Spielberg's Disclosure Day and the possible hidden intentions, Hollywood's hidden curriculum, designer babies. Let's see what this is about. We'll give it a listen for a little bit. Maybe play it out if it's interesting. A woman claims she is NASA hybrid and sold in the network. Interesting. Oh wow, those eyes make me think those eyes on her make me think that she may be telling the truth, folks. Those are some interesting eyeballs she's got there, I gotta say.
But you need to understand they're going to try to make themselves look better. And they're going to try to make you think the aliens are the bad ones when it's really the humans.
I mean, I could just end it there, right? You could just end it there. I mean, those 13 seconds say it all.
Scientists, these doctors, all of them. And so, don't fall for this horse shit. If the aliens were demons and bad, would we still even exist?
I mean, I would argue that that's entirely possible, because if they're using us and, you know, possessing humans and using them as vessels, then yeah, I mean, and what is this here? What is she doing here with the one-eyed? What is that? What is she doing here? I don't know. Is this another plant? I'm not sure. I don't know enough about this character. Let's see what some of the comments say before we play the video. If aliens were demons and bad, would we still exist? Is a terrible argument. I certainly am open to the idea of ET life, but I'm also open to the idea that at least some of this, particularly abductee testimonies, could be demonic. Perhaps ETs and angels and demons are one and the same in some way. Who knows? But I'm not comfortable with the blanket statement that humans bad, aliens good. Interesting stuff. Okay. The lengths they'll go to sell a movie are unimaginable. So this may be just that. I remember a time when I scoffed at the likes of Kathy O'Brien, Bryce Taylor, and Arizona Wilder. Again, Arizona Wilder having a very, probably the most popular interview that she had was with David Icke from years and years ago. Oh, look at that. Yeah, 25 years, a quarter century ago. 25 years down the line, so much information has come to light that my reality model is somewhat different. The jury's still out on this one. Nowadays, I can entertain an idea without necessarily attaching to it. The poor woman is obviously in a lot of pain. Her stories are very similar to what Katie and Dylan Groves were saying a few years back. 45 years down the line, and you end up seeing the pattern recognition of conspiracy, quote unquote, conspiracy theories. Do not dare call them aliens. Someone said, I'll admit to being highly skeptical about cloning and aliens. There's a lot about her past she's not talking about, but we know she was living in the Tampa area in 2008 by one post on X where she claims to have survived jumping from the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. If her time there overlaps into the 90s, then there's some known psychedelic research being done in Sarasota by... I'm trying to keep an open mind on this one, but I'm also keenly aware that this info can be created in a variety of ways. She's obviously very troubled, appears very certain that she's telling the truth, that what she's telling is the truth, but to what extent she was and probably still is a victim of an organized campaign, still not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure who this Rick Doblin character is, but the name does ring a bell. Maybe something to look into later. They want us to fight and die to keep them right where they are, in power and mansions, while the rest of us struggle and suffer this world that they have curated for us. We live and work in this shit so they can sleep comfortably. She's not the only one of this opinion when it comes to Disclosure Day, nor is she the only person coming forward with a story like this. It would be silly for us to start trusting a system now who, historically speaking, has always lied to us. We need to keep being the light, no matter how hard they try to snuff us. So yeah, this video here, Gina Rosu, NASA cloning hybrids for sex slave trade. And again, here's another great movie. We were just watching some of this video, but The Knowing, right? Or just Knowing. It's called Knowing with Nicolas Cage, the same guy who was in Snake Eyes, right? And of course, National Treasure and so many other big movies that hint and not just hint at and allude to, but clearly in truth in plain sight show you what these, you know, like with National Treasure, with the masonry and the hidden treasures, if you will. Disclosure Day somehow says nothing for 2.5 hours. Yeah, it seems like there is a lot of negative reviews about this movie. So if I never see the movie, I don't think I would be. I think I'd be all the wiser. Is what I'm getting at. So let's just play this because it looks like he's uploaded a few videos from this individual. So let's give it a listen here. Warning, may contain mature subject matter, including complex trauma, child harm, self-medication, and loss of life. Viewer discretion is advised, folks. All right, fair warning.
All right, folks. This is the segment that really caught my attention and compelled me to share Gina's story. But I wanted to introduce and file this in chronological order. If you've been following for the past several months, between the mind maps and various file breakdowns, and everything in relation to a few big giant heads of Hollywood, you'll see how very relevant this semi-side quest is to the main crusade for the common denominators of truth.
I like this comment. This person's bringing up the fact that Spiel, you know, his name is Spielberg, right? Like a spiel. She always, this person's mother always emphasized the word spiel embedded in his last name, and she was right about her contempt for him. Take a look at the definition of spiel. A spiel is a long, fast, and often rehearsed speech or explanation. It is usually intended to persuade someone to buy a product, agree to a point of view, or excuse a behavior. Cannot trust the juice. All right, let's continue.
We've been exploring the connections between predator and prey, and those lost far too soon along the way, within this certain sphere. We've also been discussing these designer babies in direct relation to the files, and how it all intertwines. I can't remember exactly which live stream I touched on Bluebeam, in my opinion, about what this Disclosure Day represents, these alien file drops, and I'd already been speculating on this intending to be a great big distraction from everything being revealed regarding these most heinous trade networks.
Oh, look at that. You even got a comment from Kurt Metzger, the infamous Kurt Metzger, the co-host of the Jimmy Dore Show, of course, and the host of his own very successful channel. And he's an interesting mind to listen to. Is he controlled at some level? I don't know. Is he part of a network? I mean, Jimmy Dore definitely seems to be, obviously. So anyway, let's continue. But he said they have so much empathy, but they don't wipe out our leaders. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Right.
And the NK of it all, how it connects with these various industries, and how they all work symbiotically to maintain control and subservience of the masses. If you weren't aware, this is basically what my upcoming book, Hollywood's Hidden Curriculum, covers. How these various scientific and military tactics are used within the entertainment industry, with real-world examples and historical facts that show the whole pipeline and playbook. Which is to say, I've been researching the NK for several years, and it all seems to be coming together now, doesn't it? The first 3 chapters are already available for those who pre-order, and as always, links to everything will be in the description. My earliest videos, before Dark Hollywood and Still Not Crazy, were a lot more on the nose about how this was evident in the life and career of Marilyn Monroe and other superstars during the golden age of Hollywood. This obviously didn't fly back in 2018 and 2019, and obviously after that most prolific financier did not take his own life, it effectively silenced many people who were going for the jugular of these matters. So this, right here, This is the one I'd really like you guys to keep an open mind. The NK references she's making do 100% check out. These were real programs. If you're not familiar with Dr. Ewan Cameron, I suggest you take a gander, and it'll give you more of a scope of what happened here. Tomorrow is the perfect day to review these matters during the 100 Years of Marilyn Monroe live stream. These synchronicities are just kind of blowing my mind, to be honest. The universe never ceases to amaze me. These are the disclosures we need. Whether you want to believe it or not, there would come a day that people who were victims of these programs would start coming forward. They already have been in waves over the decades, and a lot of the settlements were done in private and hardly mentioned in the media, but they did happen. I've personally scoured the NK file drops over the years, and the way Gina speaks with such conviction, and how obviously difficult and painful for her it is to recall these memories, it's also natural for some recollections to be fragmented and scattered. We've spoken at length about all of this, how complex trauma divides the mind for the sake of self-preservation, and what that looks like. Perhaps there have been some false memories implanted, but this is where we need to discuss and compare notes with what we know to be factually true about history. Orlando Brown is a perfect example. He seemed completely insane for a time there, and during many live streams we were deciphering and seeing which nuggets of truth were embedded between his rapid dissociative cycling episodes. What sounded like nonsense was actually just him being cryptic. What he was saying about Diddy is what stood out the most at that time. Some of you will likely remember these streams. Sure enough, a year or so later, there was the raids and subsequent arrest, and Orlando popped out the other side, not seeming so crazy after all. So there's a reason I'm bringing this to the table. I'm not saying you have to believe everything she's saying, but please have an open mind and heart so we can have an objective discussion.
As you can see, to all everything, it's starting to show. I feel like I'm aging rapidly. I don't care. I have to tell you about before the Spielberg movie comes out. That guy is a piece of shit, and he's going to make the aliens evil. And I mean, you could just tell the tone of the trailers. But I got something to tell you. I was in the underground facility as a little girl, and I was looking up, and they had this room, and it had a glass window, big glass window. There was an alien, I call them visitors. There was a visitor's father, and then his daughter was on the medical table. The doctor in the white coat hooked her up to that brain machine, and he did it too fast, and he killed her. And remember, I can draw a picture of this, but you need to understand they're going to try to make themselves look better. And they're going to try to make you think the aliens are the bad ones when it's really the humans, these scientists, these doctors, all of them. And so don't fall for this horse shit. If the aliens were demons and bad, would we still even exist? I mean, in you, Earth. So just don't fall for the bullshit. I've seen the way they communicate to each other. And the one thing the aliens have is empathy. I've seen it. That visitor father cried. And he cried because the doctor killed his daughter. It was some kind of brain machine. But they're trying to make them look bad. And they're not. The visitors are not. And another thing. When I was a little girl, Dr. Souza, who was a doctor at the Dozer School for Boys, which was an MK Ultra programming site. Google Dozer School for Boys. And Dr. Souza, I saw him all the time in my house and WikiWatchy. I mean, he was my programmer. And I remember him telling Billy Mansfield, who is still alive, if you'd like to contact him, in California, Billy Mansfield, a serial killer from WikiWatchy, was my handler. He made me eat his face. He gave me heroin. Oh. My point is,
wow.
And they paid him very well because he used to walk in to the house and he had a wad of cash.
Yikes.
And an envelope. But Dr. Souza told him, I was a little girl, I said, she needs to be in the sun. She's turning gray. She needs 10 minutes twice a day. They're called grays because they're not getting any sunlight. It's like photosynthesis or something. These are not, it's just, I'm so tired. I don't know if you guys are ever gonna fucking believe anything I'm saying. I don't know why they're keeping me alive. They tried. They tried to hurt me so many times during Crossfire Hurricane. You would not believe the things they did. I just want you to know that all this shit about aliens being bad, they're lies. They're not demons. They're not breeding, literally having sex with humans. That's not happening. It's the DNA and the DNA combination. They're not having sex. They just want you to think that the aliens or the visitors are they're the bad ones. I want them to prove, and we all should ask them, prove to us how the aliens are demons. What have they done? What have they done? I can tell you what the CIA's done. FBI, Clapper, Comer, Mueller, who's in hell. I can tell you what they did, but I cannot tell you one thing that the aliens did that was evil. So just don't fall for the bullshit. And all these experts, all these stupid ass experts, they're getting scripts, they're getting code words, they're being told what to say. And oh, and now this one, what's his name, Guy or something? What's his name? I don't know. Now he's talking about the hybrids, and he said he didn't know of anything about the hybrids. They all know about the hybrid slaves. They start training at 3 months, and they for high tolerance for pain. So imagine, for example, imagine my arm right here, my scar. Dr. Souza put a tracker in me. He didn't numb my arm. And the nurse said, aren't you going to numb it? He said, well, she has a very high tolerance for pain. So he didn't bother numbing me or anything. And I remember, how long will it last? It. They like to call us its. And Dr. Souza, 54. 54 is when Crossfire Hurricane and all this shit started in my life. I was 54 years old when Crossfire Hurricane. So they had planned my death before the age of 54. I'm tired. I'm tired. But I'm not going to give up. And here's another thing. And I'm getting old sucks. But another thing is, and they know this, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not. Because I will come right back like I always have. And they will not know who I am or where I am or what I'm doing. And that scares the shit out of them. So I'm not afraid to die. I'm just not. Because I know I'm going to come back. I'm going to come right back like that. I'll come right back. And then I'll go after them with every ounce of my being. But please do not fall for this aliens are evil shit. They're not.
Okay, well, let me just give my 2 cents, right? If quote unquote aliens, right, are anything like people, then there are the good and quote unquote good, and there are the bad, right? Like all things, good and bad, right? Yin and yang, black and white, rich and poor, etc., etc. Let's continue. This is very interesting.
You know what, I can't talk about religion. I just don't want to talk about religion. I can't. Because I truly believe you believe what you believe. If it gets you through the day, if it makes you have purpose, believe what you want to believe.
Belief is the enemy of knowing.
Okay, I gotta go. I'm supposed to be. I got company coming in this weekend, and I'm just a fucking mess.
God bless.
Oh, H. Army Master. I'll give you one example of his character. They had me on a couch, hooked up to a computer with that cap on my head, in the house across the canal when I lived in Wikiwachi. He was in the bedroom, fucking Jillian Turner. He messed with her 3 times as National Security Advisor, as a 3-star general. He was having an affair while I was being brain zapped. And he pretended, and he played the hero part quite well, because I fell for it 100%. I'm not saying there's no heroes in the world. I know there are, or I wouldn't still be alive. But I just wish I would meet more. But I know they're watching me. They're keeping me safe. So, I'm sorry, I'm just a mess. I look awful. I'm not sleeping at night. They zap my chest every night. So, oh, much better. He can't see my yucky neck. All right, I gotta go. Thank you for everything you're doing for me. Thank you for supporting me and reposting my everything. Just thank you. I don't think I'll ever testify. But you all will have a record of me and it will come out someday. Of who I am someday. My drawings someday. It's going to prove everything.
Already thoroughly read these subjects, especially the of it all, and how ultra horrifying it was. This video has been brought to you by Patreon, where I post bonus and uncensored content. Everything's free to all members, but paid subscribers get early access, with some other features and benefits depending on the tier, mainly just a way to help support the cause. Big thank you to all of those who are already doing so. If you'd like to give a one-time pledge of support rather than committing to a monthly subscription, you may do so via paypal.me/Tesmosis. Finally, I'd like to cordially invite you to join the Eyes Wide Open group, also completely free, where I post more info and resources relating to the great big elephant in the room beyond my own body of work. Links to my socials and everything I've just mentioned are in the description, but before you go, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
So, let's see here. FIFA 2026 World Cup is showing you what's going to happen. Huh. Got some vampires here. So maybe we'll check this one out here for Mr. Truth Zone. Mr. Truth Seeker, who I haven't talked to in quite a long time.
The 2026 World Cup opening ceremony for America was very strange. Now, when I first looked at this image, I thought that this was maybe a laser attacking America. But when you actually begin to look at this looks like something deeper than just a laser attacking America. When you actually begin to look at this almost looks like America is underwater in a sense too. When you actually look at this image right here of America, it really looks like they are setting the stage for a chaotic event to come here in the near future, whatever that may be. Maybe they are going to use earthquake machines to create a crazy amount of earthquakes. Who really knows? But the fact that they are showcasing stuff like this to show and tell you what these people have planned, because spoiler alert, it's not good. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, because they've been showcasing a lot of bizarre symbolism all throughout this World Cup, all throughout these different opening ceremonies. Case in point, right here, this looks like a nuclear symbol. And obviously, I've already, talked about how I don't think, these exist the way that they would have you to believe, but it's all about fear propaganda with these people. And then right here, they chose to showcase during Canada's opening ceremony, they chose to showcase the words DNA. And that's very strange in and of itself, why they would showcase that right there. So again, what do these people have planned? Because it really seems as if they have something major planned here in the near future, because all of these different signs and symbols they are constantly showing at all of these major events, and the World Cup is no different. And then when you look right here, back to America's opening ceremony, this looks like buildings collapsing on the left and the right side. This is what this looks like to me, at least. And remember Mexico, their opening ceremony, they of course showcased the pyramid, the all-seeing eye, because why wouldn't they? And that pink that the woman Belinda wore actually represents something even more dark than that starts with the letter A, and I will leave it at that. But actually, when you look at the people surrounding Belinda during that performance, it also eerily looks like the EBS system, the emergency broadcasting system. Those crazy amount of colors, those bars, that's what it looks like to me also, if you actually look at that. So who really knows? And again, back to America, I mean, it's by no accident and coincidence that they chose to showcase these buildings collapsing like this on the left and right side, because they are showing that there is a destruction to come. And I do find all of this very interesting, that America's opening game was on George H.W.'s birthday. And remember his infamous saying where he talked about a new order that is to come way back in the day. And of course, DisclosureDay was released on his birthday too. So again, it really seems as if they have something major planned here in the near future. Maybe this is why on the World Ahead 2026 edition of The Economist magazine, it showcased, this man kicking the earth per se. That's what it was supposed to represent, which was also a soccer ball to kick everything off completely. And something else, when you actually look at that image of the United States, the map of the United States with the red stuff going through it, that's supposed to spell out LA. It actually looks almost identical to the eclipse. Yeah, I mean, come on, the eclipse map, look at that. That's what it almost looks identical to. So what are they trying to tell us with all of this? That's what I'm asking each and every one of you, because come on, that is too much of a coincidence right there to be just a coincidence right there. There is something more to all of this. And of course, the black and the white stuff around all of this too, big surprise there, because they love their Freemason symbolism. Every single time, it never fails. These people love their Freemason symbolism. And obviously this could even be representing, the stars and stuff like too, with all of this stuff in the water. But it's just very strange. Everything surrounding the World Cup 2026 has been off. All of these opening ceremonies have been very bizarre. You can't deny it. I can't deny it. It just looks very strange. Everything surrounding all of this. So my question to each and every one of you is, what do they have planned in the near future? I know that I'm not going to be fearful. Even though I'm doing a video like this, I'm not trying to come across as someone that is bringing any type of fear mongering or anything like that, because at the end of the day, I am trusting in God Almighty. And regardless of what is to come, I'm trusting in God. I'm trusting in Jesus Christ. Even right here, they showcased Hollywood, the Hollywood sign being split in half. So this is more examples of the coming destruction. And again, all of the black and the white symbolism right there, the duality symbolism, because they love to show you their signs and their symbols every single time. And this is no different right here with all of the stuff they chose to put out there. They chose to showcase all of this different black and white symbolism. It is right there for everyone to see. For people that actually have eyes to see, let them see these things for what they are. I know the general public are probably going to think nothing of any of this and think it's just a performance, but when you actually look at the symbolism, it is there. They are showcasing a bunch of debauchery. They are showcasing all of this Freemason symbolism, and the list goes on. And it's just very, very telling indeed, all of this stuff that is happening all at once. And this is why prices are outrageous. This is why prices are through the roof. This is why everything seems so chaotic in America, because it's all by design. It is all about their order out of chaos. And in this scene right here, during all of this debauchery, during this performance, they showcase the Statue of Liberty, you know, collapsing almost in a sense. So you tell me exactly what is going on, what they are trying to tell us of all of this, because from my vantage point and from my viewpoint, with everything that I see happening during this performance and all of these different performances, it's not good. All of the things they chose to showcase during all of these different performances, all of these satanic signs and symbols to show and tell you what they have planned here in the near future. And the fact that they are showcasing that bizarre thing with the American map is just off. It is just very strange. And again, I go back to the black and the white symbolism. And of course, even in the background, they had to showcase the lightning bolt, which represents Lucifer, Lucifer's fall from heaven, being kicked out of heaven. So they had all of the symbolism there. They made sure to include all of the symbolism, the Freemason, black and white checkerboard symbolism, the lightning bolt, which represents Lucifer being kicked out of heaven, and the list goes on. And it's just very interesting how that LA thing looks almost like the eclipse thing. I don't think that's by any accident or coincidence. I think there is something more to all of that. I think they do have something major planned. Maybe they're going to use all of these data centers that they are putting up everywhere as a way to create some chaos here in the near future. Maybe those data centers have a deeper meaning than all of us realize. Maybe they're going to use those as a way to create earthquakes. That could be a real possibility, which is why they need all of this water and stuff. Who really knows what they have planned here in the near future? But they do have something in store. You best believe it. They do. And again, I'm not trying to create fear mongering. I'm not trying to cause any panic or anything like that. The purpose of this video is to wake up as many people as possible to show them exactly what these people are doing, because they are showing you what they want to accomplish. It is by no accident, it is by no coincidence that they chose one of the biggest events of the year, the World Cup 2026, you know, where all of these different countries are watching all of this to showcase all of this symbolism. Again, the average person out there will view all of this as just a performance. That's it. But when you begin to dig deeper, you will see things for what they are. And this is no different with America's performance and all of the other performances. Again, something really seems off about all of this. You can just feel it. I can just feel it. Like, I know that you all can feel that something just ain't right. Something ain't right. And when they showcase all of this, it just makes you wonder what they have in store here in the near future, because again, they are about their order out of chaos. You best believe that. And they definitely have some crazy stuff in store in the near future. And it's just getting wild, y'all. It really is. But as always, please comment, like, and share.
Okay. Oh, looks like Clint's still alive. I might shut it down and hop over there. We're already coming up on the 2 hour and 16 mark for the 6:12 stream. That technically started on 6:13 on the East Coast, but it was 6:12 on the West Coast. So I think it evened out, actually. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? I never did play that video from Cody, did I? Let me try to pick that up really quick.
Fron tried to shoot fucking Carter.
Very upset. When they can't fill their big cars, you have empty cars.
Well, Ellie, it's a segregated or segmented society, right? There's like very rich people, and then there's like the rest of us. So like my friend is very rich, so he doesn't care about gas prices.
I might be thinking of a different one.
Oh, you might be thinking of the Hope Diamond, which is blue.
Yeah,
that
I think that's what I was
is
thinking.
cursed. Yeah.
That gold. That's a nice gold.
Spielberg. When we were at Shabbat dinner, I said, Rabbi, did you know that the King of England claims to be descended from the line of David? And he just said.
Okay. Shabbat dinner, huh? We're going to play a little bit of Cody's video just to touch on some points.
But look at it. All that straight to the point info. So let's just go straight to the point. Remember, last night we did a video, me and Widow's son. Remember, Widow's son, Sean, make sure you guys go subscribe to him. He's been talking about 2319 for months now, well, at least a month. And I can attest to that. He's had so many posts and videos on his channel. 10 days ago, he's talking about 2319. 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. Just go look, guys. And make sure you guys go subscribe to him. He was on the live stream with me last night, and we covered a lot of this stuff. But I'm going to dive even deeper here and try to just get the info directly to you with no fluff. So remember, guys, James Franco made this video.
This is James Franco, me, really James Franco. I'm here at my house. I'm not promoting anything, okay? I'm making this account because some serious shit's going on, okay? And look here, this is real, okay? I'm real. It's me, not AI, not anything, okay? Could AI, James, do this? No, do not write this. This is me, okay? Those no, right? Some serious stuff going on. That's why I'm contacting you. That's why I'm doing this, okay? I know we seem crazy. Like, what's going on? What's the gimmick? No, this is real. Okay, I can't say too much right now. I just need you to follow me, and I'll know who's down. I'm going to show you some crazy stuff, okay?
Okay, so let's stop there. He reveals the 2319 code, and then he says, I'm going to show you, the reveal to you, revelation, disclosure, okay? And now his most recent video, he posts an alien, okay? So the first video was the 2319, which I just showed you, and then his most recent video, I think from yesterday, there's an alien. Now we have a movie coming out this month called Disclosure Day. In fact, the premiere already happened. And I'm going to show you how this all connects. Now, this is just some crazy stuff, guys, so let's just get to my slides. We're going to connect this post to this movie that's coming out, and this movie that James Franco was in called This Is the End.
Now, the end of the book of Revelation is the book of Revelation, and it's about the apocalypse or the revealing or the disclosure. It's all the same stuff, guys. Revealing things, a secret or something that you need to reveal. All right. Now, in the movie, real life actors, it's apocalyptic. Okay, so Revelation, apocalypse, a revealing. Once again, it's an apocalyptic comedy starring James Franco and other actors, and they're exaggerated versions of themselves trapped in a wild house party at Franco's Hollywood mansion. Guys, this movie is literally taking place in this guy's mansion in the movie. And during this, the celebration quickly turns to a biblical apocalypse as the rapture beams righteous souls to heaven and unleashes massive sinkholes and chaos and demons from the book of Revelation upon Los Angeles. Keyword there, releases the book of Revelation and apocalypse on Los Angeles. Okay. So now this guy's coming out. He's a Hollywood actor. He played a movie about a revelation in Los Angeles, and he's coming out telling you the 2319 code. Okay. And he's telling you he's going to reveal some stuff to us, right? And then he posts aliens. Now, the 2319 code comes from Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. is where the monster brings the sock, the contaminated children's sock, into the Monsters, Inc., and they have to decontaminate him. In order to do that, they must shave him or lay him bare or to expose him. Secrets. So they lay the monster bare and expose his secrets after he causes the 2319 emergency. So James Franco is saying after he posts the 2319, he's going to expose some things, right? Same story. But look at this. The movie, which stars James Franco in the apocalyptic LA at his mansion, released on June 3rd, 2013, premiered, and then released in the United States on June 12th. Guys, the movie coming up this month, which is about revealing, Disclosure Day, released on June 2nd, and it's going to be released in the United States on June 12th. Guys, these are the same, essentially the same dates, 13 years apart. I mean, wow. So these two movies essentially have the same release dates, just one day off. And why is this one day off? Why June 2nd instead of June 3rd? Well, when did James Franco post this 2319? He posted the 2319 on June 3rd. So that was exactly 13 years after This Is the End. You guys see what I mean? And then This Is the End, United States release is exactly 13 years before Disclosure Day. Again, Disclosure Day is just one day before James posted this 2319, right? Which was exactly, it was one day less than 13 years from This Is the End. Now, during all of this, right before the Disclosure Day release and right before he posted this, on June 1st, you had a blockbuster trade between Los Angeles. Again, this is key. Los Angeles, the angels, the fallen. Los Angeles is the city of the fallen angels, guys. It's clear. June 1st, 2026, Garrett, the superstar, was traded to Los Angeles for a guy named Jared Verse. Blockbuster deal. They were calling it a huge trade, guys, involving Los Angeles right before Disclosure Day from Hollywood comes out, right before James Franco, who's in a Hollywood movie about hell in Hollywood. But the guy that got traded for Myles Garrett, this is Myles Garrett, this is Jared Verse. Jared Verse was on the Rams, now he's moving to the Browns, and here comes the star player, Myles Garrett, to LA. Well, Jared Verse, the guy who was traded from LA, his name Jared means descending, guys. His name Jared means descending. The fallen angel, Satan, descends to earth. Now check this out. His name, fallen angel, equals 44, like Disclosure and like Jared Verse. All equal 44, guys. Fallen angel, Jared Verse. Now, the verse in the Bible in Revelation that talks about, or the verse in the Bible that talks about Satan falling is Revelation, or is Ezekiel. And if you look up the middle name of Jared Verse, right, I already showed you his name means descending, Jared, and his last name is Verse, like the verse of the Bible. But the verse of the Bible that talks about Satan descending is in Isaiah. And guys, look at what Kobe Bryant equals, apocalypse. Remember, and This Is the End, which takes place in LA, in Hollywood, James Franco is going through the apocalypse. Right? Kobe Bryant equals apocalypse. Now this guy gets traded who looks like Kobe, and then throws out first pitch with a Kobe shirt in LA, and Kobe Bryant's name equals apocalypse, which is the revealing, which is the disclosure. The disclosure of not aliens, guys, but fallen angels, which is technically kind of what aliens are kind of depicted as. Coming to earth, right? Now, this is what we got from Widow's Son, guys, and this brings it all together. If you go from the death of the fallen angel, literally the day he fell to earth, Kobe Bryant, to the day of the blockbuster trade of the guy who looks like Kobe to LA, it was 2319 days, guys.
Yeah, so free promo, go to his channel, check that out. Crazy information. And it deserves the views. The film was based on an English film called it. It came out a year or two before. Yeah, you know what? I could probably go a little extra because when the laptop crashed, I can shave that part off. So maybe we could play it out actually.
And I got these mixed up. Let me fix this while we're on the video. So if you go from Kobe Bryant falling to earth and supposedly dying, it was 2319 days, to the blockbuster trade of Myles Garrett to LA, who looks like Kobe, right? And then he threw out first pitch in LA with a Kobe shirt. But that's not it, guys, because Disclosure Day came out the day after this blockbuster trade. If you add the day, it's 2319 days from Kobe falling to earth to the trade. But if you don't add the day, it's 2319 days from Kobe falling to earth to Disclosure Day. So here's your 2319. And then the next day, the guy from LA who's in the movie This Is the End in LA, which basically depicts the fallen angels in LA, he does the 2319 video right after this. Okay? And he shows the beams on his shirt. Like, beam me up. And in the movie This Is the End, they beam the people get raptured up in beams of light. And this connects to the blue shirt because it's also Project Bluebeam.
And yeah, a lot of people, say there's no credibility to Project Bluebeam. A lot of people think there's never been any evidence to point to the fact that there's ever been an agenda to simulate a fake alien invasion where a Jesus-like figure comes in the clouds. But on another note, I wanted to bring this up, right? The number 23, which released 19 years ago, right? To add to the 2319 code. And hold on a second here. Where was the other tab here? Yeah, I think it was this stream where they touched on a lot more points. That's why it's, over 2.5 hours. But let me see something here. So the number 23, if you go to the release of that movie to this upcoming June 16th to add to the 616 code that we were talking about before, check this out. It's 1932% of a year. You can't make this shit up, dude. It is 1932% of a year.
Okay.
Another anagram, of course, of the 2319 code, if you didn't catch that.
So, and notice the orange shirt that Kobe's always depicted as with his daughter, and then the orange team trades to the blue team. This goes back with all my orange stuff I've been talking about, which I'm not going to get into. And the monster who gets shaved in Monsters Inc. is orange. The astronauts for NASA wear orange. There's way more to it. But the point is, how improbable. And thanks to Widow's Son for this amazing connection. This is all so perfect, guys. So again, 2319 days from Kobe to the trade of Garrett, who looks like Kobe. Jared verse, his name means descending one. The verse in the Bible talking about Satan falling. Jared verse has a 2-cipher match to disclosure. Again, they are disclosing that they are the fallen angels. That's what's happening. The people that are on this earth are disclosing that they are fallen entities. But guys, let's look at this. There's a house party in LA, the Blockbuster trade to LA. The last DVD ever rented at Blockbuster before it closed down was This Is the End, the very movie that we're talking about. And they called this a Blockbuster trade. The last movie ever rented at the place Blockbuster before it closed down was the very movie This Is the End, about a house party that descends into hell in LA. I mean, what in the world? And just to bring it all together, James Franco has an art exhibition that he debuted in Switzerland last year. It's called Hollywood is Hell. This is exactly what I was telling you this whole video. It's all about the fallen angels. LA is Hollywood is hell, guys. He's really telling you the fallen angels is where the angels fell to. Hollywood is where the angels fell. That's why he's saying Hollywood is hell. And look at the gematria of Hollywood is hell. 67.
Well, I don't know if my dad is a risen angel or what he'd be, but he would have been 67 this coming 6/16 in 3 days. This coming 6/16, my father would be turning 6/7. And weren't we just talking about the 6/7 with 6G? 6G is 6/7. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But the 33, because I'm 33, so together would be 100. But right now he's 60. He would have been 66. I'm 33. So you got your 99 there to go with the 9/11 code that you were just talking about there. Because, of course, 9 times 11 is 99.
This is the end, like the movie we just talked about, and the other movie we talked about, Monsters Inc. All these things have the same gematria and the same cipher. Are you kidding me?
Are you coding me?
He has an exhibition called Hollywood is Hell. He comes out with this 2319 video a day or two after the Blockbuster trade to LA, which was 2319 days after the angel fell, Kobe, fell to Earth, which was also 2319 days before Disclosure Day premiered. And he's talking about he's disclosing something. Like this riddle is literally telling you that they're disclosing that they're the fallen angels in LA, which is why the guy who got traded to LA threw out the first pitch between the LA Dodgers and the LA Angels. Okay? And that's why the name of the guy who got traded from LA, his name is Descending. Jared means descending. And his name equals fallen angel. And disclosure. I mean, just wow, guys. If you put all that together. But I didn't even talk about one final thing. So the new video that he posted yesterday with the alien, he says in the beginning of the video, if I disappear, you know what happened. Just watch the video, guys. There's a song in there that I don't want to play and get copyright. But he says, at the very beginning of this video, the new one, if I disappear, you know what happened. And again, in the movie This Is the End, people begin disappearing from a rapture. And the song that's used in his new video is called No More Blah Blah. And in that video, it says, there's a war raging inside my mind, a spiritual war, guys, and I'm about to lose. That's the song that he uses in his recent video with the alien. And there's like a house party. There's even a barbershop, like the haircut that the monster gets in Monsters Inc. And the song is sung by two people. The song is sung by Vesanic, kind of sounds like satanic, and Unperturbed. So two artists did this song. And look at what the definitions of these two things are. Vesanic, sounds like satanic, means insane or frantic, while the other artist is named Unperturbed, which means completely calm and unbothered. Guys, when we're in Christ, none of this can bother us. This revelation, this end times. We are unbothered because we know where our hope is. But when we are not in Christ, we are insane and frantic in the times that we're currently in. So again, the music that he posted for this recent video, where he talks about essentially a rapture, basically gives you the two artists that represent two opposites, being perturbed or being unperturbed. So anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this and like this video. And make sure you go subscribe to Sean's channel. And amazing work by him as usual. And I will see you guys in the next video. Okay? Take care.
Yeah, so of course the Sean he's referring to is not me, Sean of Source, but rather Sean, better known as Widow's son, which of course is a Masonic terminology, which I wanted to ask Sean about. But anyway, crazy find there, I would say, with the number 23, and of course the other find here with the number of the percentage of a year, the 1932% of a year. Anyway, we're going to get out of here, folks. Lost City of Angels, indeed. I put some wrong info there. Apparently there is the end came. All right. What is happening here? Why is it not checked? Give me a minute here, folks. Unbelievable. Nice. President Donald J. Trump inauguration equals 2319. Of course. Appreciate y'all for sure. Let me get the fuck out of here. As always, peace, prosperity, and pineal power. And unless I should go longer, what do you think? Because I don't know how much time I have to shave off. I don't know how much time I have to shave off the stream to make it equal what I want it to equal. So here's another article I was looking up too. Is Orson Welles related to H.G.Wells? The truth behind the similar names. You know, is Donnie Darko related to Donald Trump? Orson Welles and H.G. Wells are two of the most influential figures in the history of science fiction and cinema. Of course, I'm just gonna say they're who inspired, of course, Spielberg to make War of the Worlds, obviously, and because they were who originated it. But so yeah, I definitely think there's something here. It's an interesting article, The Family Tree Mystery. The legacy of two giants, whether they were related or not. Orson Welles and H.G. Wells left a lasting impact, blah, blah, blah. Influenced Steven Spielberg, or aka Spielberg, George Orwell, Ray Bradbury, Arthur C. Clarke, Stanley Kubrick, Ridley Scott, Jules Verne, and even Stephen King. They have also inspired many scientific and technological innovations such as space travel, nuclear weapons, satellite television, and World Wide Web. Orson Welles and H.G. Wells were two visionary men who shared more than blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the thing with George Orwell, right? So his name, Orson Welles, was actually, I think, George Orson Welles. Unless I'm mistaken, and it's H.G. Wells, that's middle name is George, like George Wells. Well, when you think of George Orwell, It sounds a lot like George Wells, right? Sounds a lot like George Wells. So there's something going on there, man. And if you don't think that George Orwell was part of the club, then I don't know what to tell you. You must also not think that George Carlin was part of the club. Because George Carlin was very much also part of the club. That was the funny thing. We are not in that big fucking club. Well, I don't know. Because I see pictures of you doing all the hand signs, Mr. Carlin. I love you. I love your comedy. One of the best to ever do it, arguably. But Carlin, let's see. To play us out. There you go. Throwing it up. There you go. 666 for you. 666. None from Adam Sandler, huh? Okay, I've thrown up the peace all the time. The peace is also another occult hand sign, believe it or not, because it supposedly, allegedly originated from none other than Winston Churchill. It was supposed to symbolize the victory of the war. And just victory in general. The V, right? The 5, the penta, the pentagram, pentagon. Of course, go figure, the company that runs and operates the Space Needle in Seattle that a lot of people were just looking out for on 6/11, much because of Jurassic Liar's decodes, and talking about 6/11 for years and years, and every year, people waiting to see if something happens, and maybe one year it will, but it hasn't yet. So, of course, a lot of people have just, stopped listening to him, like many other people who make predictions that don't come to pass. But, of course, you could be talking about something that could come to pass, but not be for years and years, maybe decades. So, I digress. So, I did have an interesting article about aliens as phase, but I think I lost it, or it's in another tab. But it's an interesting, area of research to get into. That's some ridiculous, some ridiculous picture. Yeah, this article seems silly, but anyway, folks, what do you think? Let's close out the poll. We got to close out the poll. I mean, does anyone think this is real? Like this, anything here, or this? I mean, if you do, I would tell you to, maybe seek some help. Seek some help. Okay, so wait, did I play this already? Drop a 1 in the chat, or just say yes if I played this video already here. I forgot if I did, or if I was in the wrong tab. So help me out here. So fake disclosure equals 888, like Donald J. Trump equals 888. You know what I realized that I had totally forgotten, right? Guess what my address of my house is? As 8 are in the chat right now. Shout out to 8. And we're 2 hours and 33 minutes in. And of course, 2 + 3 + 3 is 8. But anyway, so my address for my house, go figure, has 3 8s in it in a row. What do you think of that? Ether. And my phone number actually has 3 3s. What do you think of that? Keep going, you think? As we're 2 hours and 33 minutes and 33 seconds in. All right, I could keep going. 3:37 on the East Coast. But Fabian Society influenzas. There's more to the mounds built in the Americas. Yeah, I'm not sure what you guys are talking about here, but that's okay. Truth be a truing treasure amidst an empire built on lies, likewise wisdom, a wit, wisdom, a wealth of wit or wonder, etc. Bill Gates' grandfather was a Federal Reserve banker in Seattle. Spirit over scientism. I like how you dropped the 333 comment at 336. Of course, 666 is the 36th triangular number, meaning if you, I'm pretty sure if you, 36 times 36, is that right? Is 36. I mean, is 666. Or is it cubed? No, it's not cubed. I think it's wait, is it squared? See, now it's how, that's how I know it's getting late, because I'm, forgetting how math works. I couldn't answer the poll, but I do understand you have limited options. Yeah, there's not enough options. But that's why the I don't know, I've never been probed option is there. My shirt is 1111 right now. I don't know what that means. 88 days cycle of Mercury and 88 constellations, 88 piano keys. Good one. I'm liking that. And why is it, hold on a second here. Why is it? Okay, that's interesting. See, because I thought you were a moderator here, Mr. or Mrs. Zia Bonanza 999. But now you are. So maybe, I don't know if you were and YouTube took it away or you never were, but the name's familiar. So you're about 333. Well, don't forget that David Wilcock 333 did his last live stream. That was 3 hours and 33 minutes and 53 seconds. Actually, 2 of his last 3 live streams were 3 hours, 33 minutes and 53 seconds, right? And his channel was David Wilcock 333. So he was dead at 53, they said. 53 days before disclosure. 53. What do you think of that? Coincidence? Message? We've covered that. We've already covered that. So we don't need to go back to that. But it does tie into the disclosure. So it all comes back full circle. Because as you see, again, did I play this video in the top left? Here, I'm going to show this really quick. Show this really quick. So you know what? I'm not even going to remember where in this video it is. So there's no sense in playing it again. It's there to watch from about a month ago. Over a month ago, actually, I think. And yeah, but what do you guys think? It's all fake and gay. It's mostly fake and gay, fake and aliens. What say you? Let's see something. Major General McCasland equals 1111. UFOs. Quadrivium, arithmetic, melody, geometry, astrology. Yeah, well, don't forget anthropology and astrotheology, bibliography, biography. No, I'm just kidding. Iran war equals 1111. He went missing on the eve of it. Ford. Wait, what? Oh, okay, gotcha. Who is he? Who are we talking about? Trump? Iran war equals 1111. He went missing on the eve of it. The Ford came out of Norfolk, Virginia 1111. And Trump did it 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day from his inauguration. 1111. Damn. That's a goodie. I've never been anally probed, I could say, but only because I'm lucky. And I do know. I just struggle to explain. Interesting. Interesting. You guys are fascinating. You guys, somebody said that OTW was restreaming earlier. What is he streaming? And yeah, what's he doing? Should I check him out? Should I see what he's doing? Or were you fucking around? Nuclear dust particles equals 1111, the exact phrase Trump used when he said he wanted to go after it. So he's trying to go after nuclear dust particles now? What the fuck is that about? Nuclear weapon equals 888. And he said it was uranium they were using to make bombs. Uranium bomb equals 888. Fucking perfect, dude. You can't make it up. Yeah, every time I forget that I have the 888 in my address, I just, you know, again, beast system, if I'm not mistaken, equals 888. Demiurge, I think, equals 888. I'll have to check the calculator. Let's see. Should we go over to the calculator really quick? Major General McCaslin equals 1111 on the eve. Gotcha. All right, let's check the calculator. Shout out to Zaya B. We're subbed. You got 15 subs now. 1 + 5 = 6. And you got the 999. Like the upside down 666. The number of man, so they say. So, oh yeah, the calculator. The calculator. Beast system 888 in Sumerian. Boom. Sumerian, folks. As in ancient Sumeria. Demiurge. Okay, I'm mistaken. Although it does have the 38. Which is 3/8 in septenary in the keypad. So you got your 3/8 there in a different way. Figure. Go figure. I'm surprised there's not a third 38. I'm pretty sure that is the case for David Wilcock, who was born on 3/8. Okay, no, I take that back. He doesn't have the 38, but he has the 116, like he was pronounced dead at 1106. And he has the 53, like they said he was dead at 53. And what am I forgetting here? There's some more here. Yeah, 53 also here. 53 in 3 ciphers, right? In 3 ciphers. 333. David Wilcock, he called himself 333. That was the name of his channel. That was his URL, at David Wilcock. 333. Like that. That's how he had it. I haven't looked at what that comes out to. Let's see if there's anything. No, nothing pops out, but I got the 747. But anyway. Let me see if I find this 2319 code pop up here. Now that we're messing around here. Let me try that again with the 747. Whoops. Okay, so 2319 is 773 times 3. The 77 between the 33s. 3 times. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm not really familiar with the, binaries and hexadecimals, duodecimals, octals. I'm not, all these conversions I'm not very familiar with. Pentagonal I'm not too familiar with, but I'm trying to get more familiar with primes and composites and triangulars and squares. It's fascinating to learn the intricacies of numerology and alpha numerology and their interlinkings into synchro mystical mysteries, as I like to call them. The geometry of language, if it were. And yeah, so nothing's popping out here with this. Of course, the @ doesn't have a value in the calculator. It's just a symbol. But let me see something here. I'm behind on the chat, of course, as always, because I like to read the chat. Nanotechnology under nuance and knowledge, indeed, of course. Feedback loops are fraught with peril. You know what? Let's see what that is right there. Nanotechnology. Oh, of course, nano's got the 19, just like DNA is 19. DNA 19, right? AI, the first and 9th letter. AI. I don't think AI equals 19, though. No, it does not. It does equal 17, though. Like Q is the 17th letter. Was Q just AI? Queef. When I say Q, of course, I mean the infamous queer anus, also known as Queef Anon or Queer Anon. Of course, Queer Anon. You could say, argue that Queer Anon did 9/11 and took down the 110-story Twin Tower. It's possible. But some people just know it as Q. But I don't even know if we should say that word. It's probably a banned word. Get your channel removed for saying that word. But of course, it equals 201. Go figure. You got your 201 there. Who'd have thought? 444. It also equals 666. Oh, how about that? And not one, but 2 ciphers. That's perfect. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It also equals 19 again, that 19 code, which is perfect because it equals chaos. 19, chaos. Like how they did Conjob 19. Conjob 19. Pure chaos, right? 1984, some might say. But some might say covert 19. Oh wow, 777. It's perfect. Covert 19 or covert ID AI, because 19 like AI, 1 and 9, first and 9th letter. Some people might say that COVID actually stood for certification or certification of that word right there. The vex in the nation. Identification. You see? You see how you got your C, you got your O, you got your V, you got your ID, your ID. AI. Certification of vaccination identification, AI. You get it? Because 19 equals AI. Interesting. You got your skull and bones right there. How about that? Skull and bones linked to your con job 19. True meaning. You got your 311 there again. Just like it was pronounced on 311. Right? March 11th. Forgive me, I'm just kind of doing this on the fly, as you can tell. Interesting how March 11th has the 36 3 times. I gotta say. Oh, 4 times. 4 times. Wow. That is not something you see every day. So March 11th, a date that is written 311, 3 times 11 is 33, of course. What you got right there? Well, the 133. But the numerology is just fascinating. You can get lost in it. Beast system equals 1086. Back to that beast code. It also equals 1666. How about that? Like the year that Sabbatai Zevi, if I'm not mistaken, or was it Jacob Frank? No. It was Sabbatai Zevi. You know, I had that actually open. I'll have to open it again. If you guys have never looked into this material, it is worth the time. Can you hear this?
Messiah. Most people have heard of Jesus Christ, considered the Messiah by Christians, and who lived 2,000 years ago. But very few people have heard of Sabbatai Zevi, who declared himself the Messiah in 1666. By proclaiming redemption was available through acts of sin, he amassed the following of over 1 million passionate believers, which was about half of the world's Jewish population during the 17th century. Although many rabbis at the time considered him a heretic, his fame extended far and wide. Sabbatai's adherents planned to abolish many ritualistic observances because, according to the Talmud, holy obligations would no longer apply in the Messianic time. Fasting days became days of feasting and rejoicing. Sabbateans encouraged and practiced sexual promiscuity, adultery, incest, and religious orgies. About a century after Sabbatai Zevi's death in 1676, his Kabbalistic successor, Jacob Frank, expanded upon and continued his occult philosophy. Frankism, a religious movement of the 18th and 19th centuries, centered on his leadership and his claim to be the reincarnation of the Messiah, Sabbatai Zevi, and he, like Zevi, would perform strange acts that violated traditional religious taboos, such as eating fats forbidden by Jewish dietary laws, ritual sacrifice, and promoting orgies and sexual immorality. He often slept with his followers, as well as his own daughter, while preaching a doctrine that the best way to imitate God was to cross every boundary, transgress every taboo, and mix the sacred with the profane. Hebrew University of Jerusalem professor Gershom Scholem called Jacob Frank, and I quote, one of the most frightening phenomena of the whole Jewish history. So Jacob Frank would eventually enter into an alliance formed by Adam Weishaupt and Mayor Amschel Rothschild called the Order of the Illuminati. The objectives of this organization was to undermine the world's religions and power structures in an effort to usher in what they considered a utopian era of basically global communism, which they would covertly rule through their hidden hand, which they called the New World Order.
What do you think of that one, folks? You're going to love this one, I assure you. That's a throwback, you tell me. Good to hear.
This is the dawn of a new eon. None of us can stand on the sidelines, especially those of us with the power to bend the world to our will.
Apparently he, or Ron or somebody, is producing a moon child. He.
So Grady McCurdy, just watch this closely. So this note, this letter here from Crowley to his friend McGurdy, unless it's the other way around, I'm pretty sure it's from Crowley to his friend McGurdy. He says, thrice illuminated, thrice illustrious, and very dear brother, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. He wrote while of the law, but I think he meant whole of the law, because that was his, that was his phrase. He said, I was delighted to have your letter of the 12th of May. I have not been able to answer it till now. My eyes are really so bad that I have to get someone to read out your letter to me, and I am afraid her time being very limited, I have had to postpone the reading of your poem until my new glasses come, at the best.
Apparently he.
Oh, it's a much longer, wow, that was just the fucking beginning. It looked very long.
Or Ron or somebody, is producing a moon child.
You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Indeed. You sure did. And if you voted for him, folks, you're going to have to live with that. And that's something you're going to have to live with. Now, do they want people to think that you shouldn't live with it? And this was just one example here that I'm showing now on the screen, much like this example that I'm showing right now on the screen. Is it a type of vessel of sorts that they pump up, that they keep inflating until they one day just pop it? Obviously it's orchestrated, but what exactly is the nature and agenda and goal of the operations, right? Is the question we have to really ask ourselves. And yeah, it's something you have to decipher and discern for yourself. But I couldn't tell you that I know exactly what happened in either of these incidences. I would be lying if I told you I did. I could, I could consider it many theories, but at the end of the day, I wasn't there. And unless I see them in person, quote unquote, I won't know whether they're alive or not. How would I? So Pleiades tall white equals 1086 got the WhiteHouse today. When I did a reverse image search, the codes came back from the House of Dragon. Nordic Aliens 201 and 123. Order of Illuminati 201. The Order of Illuminati 123 at the WhiteHouse today. Nordics are Pleiadians. Chakras are Pleiades. You guys are saying Pleiades. Do you mean Pleiadians? Or they're from Pleiades, right? Pleiadians are from Pleiades. Okay. It also equals 444, like Masonic is 444. Right. Masonic's also 74. Like Gematria. Like Jesus. Like Lucifer. Like parables, gospel, Messiah. Pleiades stars equals 888. They are 444 light years away. Walter Russell has interesting books and take on an improvised periodic table, 12 cell salts, 12 archons, 12 brain ventricles, 12 zodiacs, DNA, dodecahedron, platonic solids, etc. Pleiades stars equals 888. They are 444 light years away. So they say. I will add. Tomb Eaters Ape Art Ethery Body? Tomb Eaters Ape Art Ethery Body. That's fascinating. Masonic 223, right? Like Skull and Bones. It's all so intertwining. Some ways good and some ways not. Like in this example right here that you pointed out, Mr. Bones. 13 times 28 equals 364 plus 1 equals the so-called year. That calendar that they made for us. That Gregorian calendar. Not to be confused, of course, with the Julian calendar. Let alone the Mayan calendar or the Sumerian calendar, but Apache attack helicopter equals 201. Gotta love it. And 123. Just like Order of Illuminati, as you pointed out in a prior comment. You see how it fits together? I'm putting your comments together. You're helping me, so. But yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta hate it. I guess they told you 6th eat. Hormuz Strait equals 188, like Bavarian Illuminati. Could it be any better? Could it be any more scripted, is what I mean to say? Any better scripted? They couldn't have scripted it any better. They do a damn good job, you could argue. Robert Zephyr has good takes on that 1666 conspiracy, yeah. What about Emmanuel Sananda? He's my neighbor. What about him, man? You got a problem with Emmanuel Sananda? I have no idea who that is, I'll be honest. Doomsday book published in 1086. You meant Doomsday, right? I get what you're saying. I get the wise dome and the intentional, maybe not intentional, accidentally on purpose, Doomsday. But yeah, wise dome, I feel the wise dome. An inversion of inspiration. King Charles P.A. George equals 1086. Fucking comf. Search thing Charles instead. Or Dirty Charlie. Illuminati aristocrats allegedly contrived same year as American Revolution, 250 years ago. That actor was the final boss in Equilibrium. Yeah, Equilibrium, man. If you guys haven't seen Equilibrium, that movie is kind of crazy. Should we watch Equilibrium really quick? Should we do that? We'll watch a trailer. It's a good movie. Really quick. Very fast.
That was all fake. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
This movie is real, even though there's fakers.
And when you see something on TV, I think.
Check this out, guys. This Equilibrium trailer. Look how long it is. 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Were we not just talking about 2:23? Just probably 223 seconds ago. Not even 22 or 23 seconds ago. Fascinating.
The cleric is the final line of defense. If the resistance compromises it, we are doomed.
just wanted to point out that, of course, when you open a video, you know that it always shaves off a second. So it's actually 2 hours, 2 minutes and 22 seconds, like 222, like order out of chaos equals 222. But let's continue. It makes sense if you think about it.
You can't do this. You cannot do this.
There's nothing we can't do.
It's written.
Burn it.
Cleric, I can only hope one day to be as uncompromising as you. You're a family man.
Yes, sir. Boy and a girl.
It's the lawful entry. We have a warrant for your wife's arrest.
Remember me.
Welcome to the underground. Do you know why you came? Yes. They trained you your whole life to fight these kind of odds. What can I do?
I've heard the most disturbing rumor.
Rumor, sir.
A rumor maintaining that one of the cleric is actually attempting to contact the resistance.
And you know what I'm gonna do now?
Preston, give yourself entirely without incident.
No, not without incident.
What you gonna do when the grid goes down, Red? That's what I'm gonna ask you, my friend. What you gonna do when the grid goes down? Because I think I know what I'm doing. I'm doing what you have to do, which is get back in touch with nature. You really got no other choice. Which, of course, you could argue is easier said than done, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you there. So what do you think about that? Really quick, because it's a good point. What are you guys going to do?
This is W. 7. It seems the establishment is telegraphing lights out. One of the most recent warnings of the World Economic Forum, warning of this lights out event, also dubbing this year the year of the Polycrisis.
The signs in the skies that my dato's face failing, express soul of blessing and be prevailing. We in the time when the truth's unveiling. You'll let the catch your bastards stop railing and railing. This directed nations, slaves and drivers in their temptations. Only made the move in Satan's haven. The the 21's all about sustaining. The powers that be to continue reigning. So don't be rapidly appease the raining. The days are over, I hear this is raining. So from here on in, it's strictly plain sailing. When it goes down, you better be ready. When it goes down, you better be ready. When the beat goes down, you better be ready. When the beat goes down, you better be ready.
We're seeing more and more like airflow, and this is all part of an increase in the sun's activity from these CMEs, solar cycle 25. We're entering a little ahead of schedule. We don't want to see the Carrington event happen in this day and age.
Keep your eyes in the skies for the signs, but it's now time to prepare for when the power's gone. Is it Chinese fly moves with biggie showered from or Carrington 2.0 powered on? Listen to scenarios for what makes when the countdown clock reaches the final second. Russian super nuclear to battle day, letting them off with Komodo massive engines. Science the weapon and try stay frozen. My classic is a vice, stay cold and frozen. It's all lies, the world's not broken, but the countdown to 2030's not joking. When the beat goes down, you better be ready. When the beat goes down, you better be ready. When the beat goes down, you better be ready. When the beat goes down, you better be ready.
We now have the actor Dennis Wayne reading from the script, giving out this warning. And he said that the electric will go out up to 30 days. So that seems to be the window. They also state that people cannot survive without water, and that this too will shut down the water supply. How many people are paying attention?
Take attention attention. People take the lies they spin when the grid goes down. But they plan by game that they man guys sling and a rock to swing. So show the spectacle cost a thing. Like just the ring, people look for cover when shit is the fact and people go so up. The end's close, I can smell the soap up. The fence going down while way you're enough up.
Yeah, it's lights out like an EMP. Blood in the streets in the land of the free. It's all by design by the GOV. ERNMENT. Unless we get hit by CME, there's really no telling when the moment it's gonna be. From the time of the spark, reject the mark. You better have a plan or get left in the dark. Yeah, from the time of the spark, reject the mark. You better have a plan or get left in the dark.
When the beat goes down, you better be ready. When the beat goes down, you better be ready. When the beat goes down, you better be ready. When the beat goes down, you better be ready.
Ready or not? Ready or not? Ready or not? Ready or not?
I spent a decade warning everybody about this mess. We're on the doorstep of it. I'm warning you. They're telegraphing it again. This is repeated theme. Now they got one of their Hollywood goons out here reading from the script. Warning, lights out is coming. It's like we can't trust anything going on out there. We've got to stay on top of things. Eyes to the sky, y'all.
Yeah, that's a good point. Older Bones, who says, I miss watching WW3, but I couldn't give him 2 or 3 hours a few times a week to news I've already decoded. Perhaps knowledge and grit be our last nature-all resource towards the growth and empowerance of we the people, etc. 333, the L code, the blackout code, decoded several times and posted. All right, so we got Leon 3005 in the house, and he wants to know about the 2319 code. How about that, folks? You see how it works out? So shout out to him and his cat. He's got a black cat like myself, Camry, who's probably fast asleep, as she should be, because it's late as fuck on the East Coast here. South Florida. Signs of the Times, Immortal Technique, great song. If you remove 1 and 10, etc. from the number system, 369 becomes equidistant pillars. 9.999999999999999 is more accurate than 1. That's interesting. That's interesting. All right, so let's show a little bit more with the 2319 code. So as you can see here, Mr. New Person, right? Here's a variation of the 2319 code. It's 1932, right? If you rearrange the 2319, you get 1932. That's just one of many variations, right? Well, if you get the date that the number 23 movie dropped with Jim Carrey back in 2007, February 23rd, 2007, right? It's got the 223 there, like the movie was the number 23. Anyway, you could also argue that 223 is another skull and bones, wink and a nod, like the movie Skulls with Paul Walker was an obvious, it was called Skulls. I mean, they weren't hiding it at all. It was clearly about the Skull and Bones Society. It's open, it's obvious. They weren't hiding that. But anyway, if you get that date, the release date of the number 23, and you go run it to this coming June 16th in 3 days, 2026, what you get is 1932% of a year, right? 100% of a year would be 365 days, but 1,932% of a year, plus, you know, a 0.6, you get, you see what I'm getting at here? Do you see the connection? Is it clicking? Is it clicking for you? Let's see what we got here. Well, what else can we show? We already went over the great video from Brother Cody. We actually played like pretty much the whole video. So you could rewind this stream for sure, and there's multiple points where we touched on it. But yeah, as you can see, as he was pointing out,
some things, right?
The Monsters Inc. is another thing here. In the movie, The Monsters Inc., it was an emergency code. And again, you just had at the Pentagon, you had this hazmat this hazmat incident. Let's go to that really quick. I think Cody might have covered that in one of his streams, but just check out this name, this news at the Pentagon lockdown. A Pentagon hazmat lockdown caused by false alarm. False alarm, they're calling it, of course. Definitely not news by the numbers. Definitely not. I'm definitely not being sarcastic and facetious, rather. Definitely not. I would never be sarcastic. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy talk. Definitely not PSYOP news by the numbers. So again, go figure. Let's see who, I was bringing this up earlier. Who runs the Space Needle? Who owns the Space Needle? Does the Pentagon, wait, what is it called again? Penta Corporation? Pentagram. It's the Pentagram Corporation. The Pentagram Corporation owns the Seattle Space Needle. It's literally called the Pentagram Corporation. I mean, you gotta be kidding me, right? So, let me see something. Oh, you know what? I probably should keep it on a moderate filter. That way, if something unsavory pops up, that could get the stream flagged. So there you go. You got your pentagon, you got your pentagram. Penta means 5. Marilyn Manson, when you say 5, I say 10. You get it? Say 10. Of course, Slipknot put it a little differently. They said when you 555 and I 666. But let me bring that. Where's the... Oh, that's right. He wanted the 2319 code, but now I'm going into the say 10. Oh, it's 33. Hold on a second here. I always do this with this one. It's got the 636 though, but and the 33 twice. Oh, safe. Wow. Safe 5's also got the 33. That's weird. And the 36. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I'm forgetting what I... But of course, Satan's got the 55, like 5 plus 5 is 10. And then it also equals 10, but it's also got the 330. Huh. Okay, well, I don't know why I thought something equaled 666. I thought it was either Satan, say 10, or say 5 equaled 666, but I guess I'm off my mark here because I don't do a lot of decoding like I used to. You know, what is decode? 36 and 336. Go figure, it's got your 88 too, because you can time travel with decoding. I would say you could do a little time traveling. Could do a little pineal, you know, with the help of some electric luminescent etheric travels of sorts through certain realms. You can kind of time travel. So it makes sense that decode would be 88. Is time travel 88? That would be funny if time travel was 88. It's 288. But yeah, when you go 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit. It's also 44 twice. So there's your 88 right there. If you want to do it like that. Yeah, it doesn't actually have the 88 outright, but what about 88 miles per hour? It's really got that 107 repeatedly. If you add all these up, right, 107, 1 plus 7 is 8. So you got an 8 and 8 and 8 and 8. You got 4 8s. But now I'm off my rocker here. So let's get back to the. What do you think, guys? Is it real? Is it bullshit? Is it all nonsense? I think we already played this out from Dyer. Looks like Clint's still live talking about aliens. Podcast of alien proportions, doing the free promo. But I think we're going to shut down soon here, folks. It's getting really late here. You know what I'm saying? And we never really played this whole video, but
E.T.
And we'll play a little bit more of this just because it's on point, and I don't remember exactly how much I played. But shout out to Reagan and Spielberg and Nancy and all the great people.
Potential unifying impact of an external alien threat. Here he is in October 1982, making an ET joke with Apollo 17 astronaut and U.S. Senator Harrison Jack Schmitt while standing in front of Air Force One at Hangar 84 in Roswell, New Mexico.
It feels good to be here in the land of enchantment and far away from a place of disenchantment on the banks of the Potomac. Jack, are you sure you want to go back there? Of course, having once been an astronaut, Jack Schmitt is probably the only one who feels at home there. Because
I don't think James will die. I think he was acting, and I mean, of course he'll die one day, for sure, no question. But I don't think it's soon. It could happen, but no, I think he was just acting. He was just playing his part on the world stage. He is, after all, an actor. He was in the movie This Is the End, synced up with the release of DisclosureDay. This is the End. Has a lot of similar themes to DisclosureDay. You know, fake and gay aliens. So yeah. PSYOP premium powder, indeed.
Washington is in orbit most of the time about one thing or another.
But it's money that Terry Williams appreciates.
This is great. I'm a family of 7 I'm taking care of, and I need everything I can get.
These entrepreneurs know that it takes a blockbuster movie to keep their newfound businesses in the black. They're only hoping that E.T. continues to charm Earthlings the way he has so far, at least through the end of summer. Bridget Asaro, News 8, Rosecrans.
And don't forget, of course, the other movies that have the deer and elk themes and symbolism. There's so many. There's just so many.
DisclosureDay threatens letting the truth loose on the world.
What did you steal?
The data they paid me to protect.
There has been
I'm glad you like that, sir. That makes me smile.
a threat to release government material long shrouded in secrecy. Are they people?
No. Daniel has this amazing mathematical brain, and he's using it to understand them.
Do you understand what she's saying?
These are all the individuals from last year doing their thing running the computer systems. And the American man here is incredibly fast.
It's quite close, isn't it?
Message? Yeah, it's from Michelle. How very amusing. So you look all together?
Yes.
Good look.
Hey, remember when you told us to bring it at the Invictus Games?
Careful what you wish for.
Oh, really? Please.
So,
We're going to talk about Prince Harry now making the rounds in Orlando, Florida, not far from Rob, where this year's Invictus Games will kick off later today.
This sporting event is for injured service members and was created by Harry to inspire their recovery through sport and competition. ABC's Bob Woodruff is in Orlando covering it all for us this morning. Hi, Bob.
Hey, good morning, Paul. You know, this has been so impressive so far. We've had the ability to just walk around with Prince Harry.
Fakes. Among all fakers, Elmire is number 2.
Once, I saw a man from Ibiza writing a book on fake who came to see me to Paris. He said, I heard you are the first man who bought an Elmire.
That man's name was
Clifford.
Bought the property in 2023 and plans to build a permanent memorial.
It's not a sob story. It's far from it. This is a story of success. This is a story of literally the most amazing Invictus spirit.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of introduction, this is a film about trickery and fraud, about lies.
You don't talk about Napoleon or Julius Caesar. You're talking about Elmire.
Elmire?
Elmire?
Who is Elmire? That question has yet to be answered with any real precision.
Can I kiss you too? Anybody want to eat?
In the world of jet setters among us beautiful people, everybody knows Elmire.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure this right here is Orson Welles, the man from the War of the Worlds radio show. synced up with H.G.Wells and, of course, Steven Spielberg.
What? He has about 60 times the same name. The Hori? His call is made Ori, Uri, Gori, Suri, Kori, Bari, Dori, all the...
I wanted to make sure they were real people based on reports about abduction and lost time.
I can see them. They're coming into the room. The only way for you to know your purpose is to go back to where it all began. It's the two of you. It's always been just the two of you.
What they know can change everything. Religion, governments, all the things that we've set out to create our culture and our world.
Then 60 personalities, as much lies and as much real.
Well, sounds very Jesuitic.
Yes, his world is a world of make-believe.
I'm not an actor.
Not an actor? Oh dear.
I'm not an actor. I am not a professional actor. Whatever happens, don't you let go.
Daniel and Margaret are going to release the truth of the entire history of the UFO-UAP phenomenon.
He's a leading actor in this movie. His profession is true. Is painting fakes. Among all fakers, Elmire is number 2.
Once, I saw a man from Ibiza writing a book on fake who came to see me to Paris. He said, I heard you are the first man who bought in Elmire.
That man's name was...
Clifford Irving.
Whoa. And nothing will ever be the same from that moment forward.
3, 2, 1.
This is Disclosure Day.
We did on the show exactly what would have happened if the world had been invaded. That little music playing and then an announcer coming on and saying, excuse me, we interrupt this program to bring you an announcement from Jersey City. Jersey City has just fallen. Take you back to our studio, a little organ music and another interruption and so on. We did all of that very carefully and exactly reproduced, as I say, what would have happened, thinking to make the whole thing more effective. But we had no idea how effective it would be, because about halfway through the show, as we were continuing with the script in front of us, we saw that in the control room, there were a great many policemen, and every moment more. I had no idea that I'd suddenly become a sort of national event.
The important distinction to make when you're talking about the genuine quality of a painting is not so much whether it's a real painting or a fake. It's whether it's a good fake or a bad fake.
You say you can put out what pictures you like on television. Doesn't anybody try to stop you?
No, nobody wants to. 99.386% of the population wouldn't believe this conversation. And the rest are working for us. And they're the top minds, the really responsible people. They know they're guaranteeing the lives of their grandchildren the only foolproof way.
Scaring the hell out of their grandchildren. Well, I won't buy it.
You must admit there has to be some kind of control in this world of ours. What are they? And remember that 1/4 of the world is starving. There are the full bellies and the empty bellies. Some of the empty bellies carry rifles. Well, we full bellies are getting a bit flabby. We're not very good with rifles anymore, so we've devised 2 ways to keep the empty bellies under control. One of them is this fictitious hydrogen bomb we talked about. The other one is money. Enough money to fill some of the empty bellies and put a hopeful smile on the faces of the others. A great wall of money all around Britain. And it's no secret that the British economy is in trouble at the moment. So we have to put that right, too, to stay alive. We have to control the people in this country. Scare an ostrich, buries its head in the sand. You scare a hedgehog, it rolls itself up into a ball. When a woman's frightened, she goes out and buys herself a hat.
You mean you scare us so that we'll buy more, so that money moves quicker, production moves up?
We don't say scare when we talk about human beings. We say threaten them emotionally. And there are all sorts of ways, but not just the big ones like the hydrogen bomb. Overcrowd them a little with bad planning. Sell them too many motor cars. Anything to keep them a little bit removed from reality. Nowadays, people don't work for money. They work for the idea of money. They don't even love for love. They love for the idea of love. They only hate for the idea of hate. It took us 5 years to find a non-addictive drug. One we could pay off against the hard drugs. LSD.
You marketed that?
Oh, yes, of course. And for a very good reason. Some of these protest movements were getting a little bit too close to the mark. LSD gave them nice little hallucinations. Made them talk like 3-year-olds. Throw flowers at policemen. There we talk terms.
You're not still going to ask me to work for you?
I'm afraid I've had to put all this rather bluntly. You see, there wasn't really very much time. It must be rather a shock. Well, I mean, most people realize that the world is controlled from about 6 big cities. But it must be rather shocking to learn that 1/6 of the world is controlled from this building.
You mean you?
Oh, no. I only rate an office on the 7th floor. There are 2 other offices above this one. And a giant computer system. I ought to tell you, we pay a great deal of money. We can afford to. We save such a lot on things like the national defense budget and so on. We would start you off at £250,000 a year.
No.
Rising to £1 million when you make the Ministry of Morality, which I know you will.
Will you let me out of here?
One little point. I should have told you about these surgical transmitters. There's enough of this stuff inside you at this moment to kill 6 people. There's a button we can press. I'm sorry about the dramatics. Our boys call these things the oral contraceptive. Keeps them from talking too much.
So there must be one of those transmitters inside you. Who presses the button? Extra hands. All this stuff about the computer being extra hands for the men who know how to control it. That machine controls you.
You start on Monday.
What they see. Try not to understand, because it is impossible.
It's going to get more and more overtly occult as these things develop. I mean, Burning Man's totally in your face occult. I mean, that's just flat out, we're witches, we're here, we're New Age, we're here to work witchcraft.
I must have dreamed 1,000 dreams, been haunted by a million screams. I can hear them marching feet, they're moving into the street. Did you read the news today? They say the danger's down our way, but I can see the fire still light, they're burning into the night. There's too many men, too many people thinking too many problems, and I'm not looking around. Can't see this is a land of confusion.
We're gathering together because there's more power. You know, this has been almost like programming that's been put into humanity's mind for a long time. Now it's more of a manifestation of this. This is just so...
You are an old man who thinks in terms of nations and peoples. There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West. There is only one holistic system of systems. One vast and immane, interwoven, interacting, multivariate, multinational dominion of dollars. Petrodollars, electrodollars, multi-dollars, Reichmarks, rims, rubles, pounds, and shekels. It is the international system of currency which determines the totality of life on this planet. That is the natural order of things today. That is the atomic and subatomic and galactic structure of things today. And you have meddled with the primal forces of nature. And you will atone. Am I getting through to you, Mr. Beale? You get up on your little 21-inch screen and howl about America and democracy. There is no America. There is no democracy. There is only IBM and ITT and AT&T and DuPont, Dow, Union Carbide, and Exxon. Those are the nations of the world today. What do you think the Russians talk about in their councils of state? Karl Marx? They get out their linear programming charts, statistical decision theories, minimax solutions, and compute the price-cost probabilities of their transactions and investments, just like we do. We no longer live in a world of nations and ideologies, Mr. Beale. The world is a college of corporations, inexorably determined by the immutable bylaws of business. The world is a business, Mr. Beale. It has been since man crawled out of the slime. And our children will live, Mr. Beale, to see that perfect world in which there's no war or famine, oppression or brutality. One vast and ecumenical holding company for whom all men will work to serve a common profit, in which all men will hold a share of stock, all necessities provided, all anxieties tranquilized, all boredom amused.
Belinda commence d'entrer avec le triangle Illuminati et l'œil d'Horus. Le monde est posé sur une pyramide aztèque parce que c'est un sacrifice global. Et Shakira incarne la prostituée de Babylone, la femme écarlate de l'Apocalypse, qui tient la coupe d'or, le trophée, symbole des abominations, ici porté par des laboubous, qui sont des démons anciens. Elle chante en duo avec Burn Boy, tout est dans le nom, brûle un garçon, référence directe au sacrifice pour Moloch, qu'on retrouve dans les clips de Belinda, avec le Baphomet, le sol de dualité et la possession. On connaît tous le symbole Illuminati, mais personne ne parle de la ruche maçonnique. Le ballon de foot est une ruche, composée d'hexagones. Ici, le monde entier enfermé dans ce ballon, c'est l'esprit de ruche et le nouvel ordre mondial. Parce que le football a été créé dans un temple maçonnique. La reine, c'est l'élite qui possède les clubs. Les joueurs sont les drones qui exécutent les ordres. D'ailleurs, le premier but de cette Coupe du Monde a été marqué par Julian Quiñones, qui fait ouvertement le signe du compas maçonnique. C'est exactement comme les Mignons. Pas d'identité propre, juste un uniforme, un numéro et une obéissance à leur maître.
Shakira, we are ready.
Et quand tu regardes le foot, tu participes au rituel. Tu perds ton identité pour devenir un ouvrier dans la ruche.
I've been muted this whole time. How long have I been muted? It's fucking incredible. We're going to get out of here, folks. That's how you know it's time. That's how you know. I appreciate y'all. Peace, prosperity, and pineal power as always. Or as I like to say, piezoelectric, piezoluminescent prosperity, aka pineal power to the people. So we'll probably, tune into more weird optics as expected, because they never stop. The psyoptics, the psyops are high, and they just never end, folks. So be well. See y'all soon. And yeah, till next time. Deuces.